World premiere.
Reaching out for no man's land, to take a breath and take a chance, and walk 1,000 nights to change the world. Where to go, when to start, who to trust, what to say. Found them all, just need someone to share. Smiling the dusk every day to carry on. Ain't so strong, I ain't so strong to go. Living in the past is not the way to live. I wish you could hear me say that I miss you. While we there back to back, while we there face to face, I must feel alright when you're in the dark. If you lose me somewhere and your tears are in the air, I will ring a bell until you feel me by your side.
World premiere.
Washington, D.C., the most heavily protected city on Earth.
Within its limits, 177 foreign embassies, 550 elected officials, and 23,000 military personnel. In the event of an attack, critical personnel are evacuated, underground shelters open, while complex defense systems patrol the sky.
But nothing stopped the virus. 27 days after patient zero, Washington fell. It began with riots on K Street, then shootings in the National Mall. Troops withdrew to bunkers. Civilians were left in the streets.
America is on the brink of collapse. But some people have survived. Gardens grow on rooftops, their fences patrolled with rifles, in communities that live under constant siege. Survival has taken the form of urban warfare.
Centuries ago, on this very soil, brother fought brother, spilling blood to forge the United States. History is threatening to repeat itself.
Now, in the heat of summer, 6 months after the outbreak began, a remnant of a corrupt state lurks in the shadows, ready to engage in a new civil war.
Agents of the division are the only ones standing against it.
But how do you save a nation when its enemies come from within?
Matt, that crash site is just ahead. Duke, Kit, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Closer this time.
Look at this parachute. Dropped right through the ceiling. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, that'll come in handy.
So you guys are coming or what?
Yeah. Oh, Merry Christmas. Ah, here's the door.
Karpinski, it's the division.
Hey, let me just talk to this guy.
Glad to see you.
We got a boy here who's gonna die without his meds. Those True Sons assholes confiscated them, along with most of our drinking water. Up around
Okay,
Pinwater Station.
meet us at the
I
sinkhole?
wouldn't
Yep.
ask for help.
Okay, sure.
I don't know what else to do.
Wow. Okay.
Definitely from the capital. You should have a new side mission on the map.
Yeah, we're not that far.
Okay, do it after the crash site?
Sounds good. They're just ahead of us, Matt.
Hey, I see you. I'll be up in a sec.
Kit, we gotta get you leveled up.
I know. Please help. I've been busy.
Toxic chemical residue detected.
A lot of loot down there.
Hey, you guys should really check this out.
Almost there. So that's the control point.
Hey, wait for me.
Crap, they have a tank.
Yep, I see him.
Don't aggro him yet.
Let me adjust my build.
Got my crossbow and chem launcher. Chem cloud out. Matt, can you flank them and get a clear shot?
I'll take that sniper on top. Wait for it. Got her.
Matt, look out. All right, let me try to get that tank off you.
More bad guys on the other side of the plane.
Grenade, grenade!
Dude, come on.
Yep.
Matt, I need your help. Over here. Seeker mine out. Whoa. Oh, I'm stuck. Use a little help. Thanks, Matt. Oh, there's a dude rushing through the plane. Guys.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Got him. I'm down.
Yeah, hang on, I'll get
Agent is
you.
down.
I'll cover you guys.
Come on. Get that weak point.
Oh, crap. Matt, watch out. Setting my drone.
Thank you for the revive, Meg.
I've got this guy behind the tank.
Matt with the hive knife.
All right, just lay it on him.
Again?
Drone down.
Oh, there goes his armor.
Ah, you're on your own.
Keep going.
Good job.
Level up. Level 30.
Oh, sweet. Congrats.
All right, flare is up. Control point is ours.
Nice.
Guys want to check out the plane?
Let's go.
Analyzing ballistic residue.
Looks
No
like
match
a
found.
rough landing. Jesus.
Whoa, that's nuts.
Let's check it out.
Great idea. Let's just die.
So, game plan. Take the capital back.
I think we're ready.
3, 2, 1, go, 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 go.
Please welcome the head of engineering, Xbox Game Pass, Ashley Spiker.
This is a special time for gamers. We've never had so many incredible games to play. storied franchises, uncharted worlds, new releases, and cult classics. Genres we love, and genres we'd love to explore. There's only one problem. Too often we are forced to choose one amazing game over another. So we set out to solve that problem and to answer the question, what if you didn't have to choose? What if you could play them all? The answer, Xbox Game Pass, a way to give gamers the ultimate freedom to play. And your response has blown us away. Not only are you playing more games, you are spending more time gaming. Freedom of choice is leading to more discovery, more play, and more fun. And we couldn't be more inspired to keep building and unlocking more for you. So for the last year, we've been working on how to give you faster access to all those games. We leveraged the machine learning expertise we have at Microsoft and invented a way to start your games twice as fast. And naturally, we're calling it Fast Start. Unlike the current ready-to-start system, which is manually configured, Fast Start uses machine learning techniques based on how gamers actually play games. And Fast Start is designed to get better as the algorithms and parameters are refined over time. I'm pleased to announce that Fast Start will launch for select titles in the June update coming later this month. Ultimately, it all comes down to the games. We'll continue to deliver iconic favorites like Halo: The Master Chief Collection, coming later this year. We also plan to release all new exclusive games from Microsoft Studios, including Forza Horizon 4, Crackdown 3, and more, into the Xbox Game Pass catalog on the same day as their global release. Every month, we'll also bring new games from leading creative studios into your Xbox Game Pass library. Games like Ashen, Warhammer Vermintide 2, After Party, and Phoenix Point, all available in Xbox Game Pass the same day as their global release. So that's what's next, but let's talk about what's happening today. Tom Clancy's The Division. The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited. And Fallout 4. All enhanced for Xbox One X in gorgeous 4K, and all of them playable today in Xbox Game Pass. Thank you to all of the developers working with us to bring freedom of choice to gamers around the world with Xbox Game Pass. Thanks, everyone.
I thought I knew why I came here. I saw it. The end. It was so vivid. But now the truth feels further away than ever. I still have so many questions.
You said you were going out, but I heard you through the wall. I said don't go far. You had me searching for a reason, but I was in the dark.
We can't let Trinity get hold of this.
Let's think this through.
Do you realize the tragedy you have unleashed? The cleansing has begun. It falls to me now to stop it before it consumes us all.
What have I done?
What a shame you can't hear me. I speak louder. Thought you could keep me in reserve.
I know that it's not practical. I know that it's hard to believe.
Could I hold myself back? Well, you fed me a fable, but I know the taste of life.
You don't know that you caused all this, Laura!
You need to trust me.
We have to trust each other.
I speak louder.
He wants to alter the course of humanity. If you had that power, what would you do?
Exclusive.
They say I'm like Bruce Willis, unbreakable, die hard. True sickness, put this mic on the tripod. But I'm not Chow Yun Fat Break, I'm still a pillar of stone. Blows into your skull, lash on your whole militia like a Hannibal. Imagine you the antelope and I'm the king of the jungle. Animal instinct, phenomenal stamina. Just think about a man on the brink of insanity. And it's me, you not a rapper, you a movie star. Checking who we are, be the cootie tar. Molotov cocktail, checking you'll get scored as who regardless. A marvelous, majestic, nope. All my power harness shit, my spoken word like a Voltron sword. And these poems close to arsenic, every madly, deadly come
The powers that be,
it's in you,
it's in me. And MC, that's all we know.
the powers that be,
It's in you,
it's in me, in MC,
that's all we know. The powers that be,
it's in you, it's in me,
and MC,
that's all we know.
the powers that be, it's in you,
It's in me, in MC.
Exclusive.
They say you only live once. I beg to differ. I was born 3 times, and I've met death 3 times. My first home was Altanova. The curiosity I gained there cost me my first life. I awoke again in Tarif, village of the sorcerers. I once thought that this would be my true home. Everything changed when I started to ask the forbidden questions. What exactly is the true nature of the Black Stone? What lies beneath the vast desert? Who was it that was calling me from the depths beyond the desert? The world never paid heed to such questions. They just fought on, blinded, and hungered for more and more of the power. It is time that I, at long last, reveal the hidden secrets once and for all. Come to me, if you dare to learn your true wretched self. Behold, I am Elezra, the darkness born from the desert.
World premiere.
We've known each other a long time.
Hold the line! Hold the line! Nothing gets through!
You never had this much trouble. You gonna make it through this?
They're demons! I've seen them with my own eyes! Red Grave is completely taken over!
Let us pray for mercy. This is a trial from the heavens above.
Hey, honey. Need assistance?
Hey, you have to hit every single bump in the road? Gonna ruin my crew. Cheer up, crew cut. You taking notes?
Yeah, he's a real pro at smacking demons around. That's why I built him that well-functioning arm. To kick demon ass.
What? No chit-chat or monologue? Just getting right to the point, huh?
My brilliant badass work is worth every dime, you know it. Cash first.
Idiot! Get back inside now!
I've got a score to settle with that son of a bitch.
Devil May Cry.
Please welcome from Capcom, producer Matt Walker and director Hideaki Itsuno.
As director, I've waited 4 years for this. Thank you so much. DMC is back. English is hard. Matt, you do it.
Of course. It's been 10 years since Devil May Cry 4 was released, and fans have been asking for a true sequel ever since. So this is our response, loud and clear, that we hear you. Devil May Cry and Hideaki Itsuno are back. Early on in the development of Devil May Cry 5, we set our sights on creating something that was going to have world-class visuals. So we've scanned fully costumed models for all of our main characters, and with the power of Xbox One X, we're able to render them as realistically as possible. Now, while visuals are really important, the controls need to remain tight and responsive as well. So we've gathered the best minds at Capcom to ensure that we can still deliver that amazing gameplay that Devil May Cry is known for. And we think that we've made something that feels better than any action game we've ever created.
Hold on. すべてのファンの皆様のために一番の自信作ができました。期待してもらって大丈夫です。よろしくお願いします。
Itsuto-san says that he is convinced that this is the best game that he's ever made because we made it for you, our fans. And we hope you look forward to seeing more.
Have a great E3!
Exclusive. Exclusive.
That tiny fox in a big world is a prime example of the reach of gaming today. A labor of love conceived and created by a single developer in Halifax, Nova Scotia is today commanding gaming's largest stage. Whether you're sharing the adventure of a tiny fox with more than 20 million viewers on Mixer, or teaming up with Xbox Live friends to slay zombies, gaming is an incredible community. We've always believed that building community is vital for gaming. There's real power in our shared experience, sharing the same world, the same seasons, the same campaigns. And there's real meaning in sharing our love of gaming with fellow gamers. This community is the reason why we love premiering games here at E3. For the rest of our briefing, everything you show you will be world premiere games no one has seen before. Starting off with something entirely new from our friends at Bandai Namco. On my last trip to Japan, their creative team showed me a sneak peek at their next game. Now, you get to see the first look.
World premiere.
There are worlds that exist, separate from our own. where the impossible is reality. They consist of both good and evil. These worlds were never meant to meet. But things have changed. Now, they have begun to merge as one. And our last hope are the heroes we could only imagine, uniting to fight for our survival. Jump Force. Unite to fight.
World premiere.
It's been 15 years since the fall. The city is a corpse, and we are the worms. We burrow in it, fighting for every useful piece of land to preserve ourselves from the terrors of the night and the horrors of the day.
I know not who can hear my voice. I shall therefore speak a word unto here. Anyone who dares to steal food will be hanged, and their bodies will be exposed.
Every day we rise from dust to choose between bad and worse.
Get him! You're dead now!
And these choices we take to survive will create the world to come.
You know the drill. Get to the nearest safe house and wait until dawn. Good night, and good luck.
Please welcome narrative designer Chris Avalo.
Hi, I'm Chris Avalone, and I'm excited to be working with Techland to create the world of Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 is everything you'd expect from a bold sequel to the first game. A fluid parkour system with improved natural movement, deep and tactical first-person melee combat, and of course, terrifying nights when the infected emerge from the depths of the city to feed on anyone they can find. At the same time, we invite you to a new vision of the post-apocalypse, a bleak and unforgiving reality that we call the modern Dark Ages. Today, however, we want to give you a look at one of the impressive new features of Dying Light 2, a technical and narrative advancement for the franchise. Dying Light 2 will be the first in its genre where your choices have genuine consequences in the game itself. From how it looks, how it plays, to the events that occur, everything in the game world can change based on your decisions. The following demo throws a bit more light on this. Dying Light 2 features a functioning ecosystem that reacts on multiple levels to the things you do and the choices you make. In the example we are about to show you, our protagonist undertakes a mission for the Peacekeepers, one of the many factions active in the city. They want you to negotiate with two survivors who are controlling and hoarding a water supply.
Are you going to insult us with another final offer?
Let's say you choose to carry out the Peacekeepers' orders, one way or another. After this, you will start seeing a significant change in the city as access to the water supply allowed the Peacekeepers to bring stability and develop the area. There's even running water for the people at street level, and that raises their morale and allows you to replenish your energy on the go. But there's a cost to this. The PKs have a rigid approach to law and order. So while the streets may be safer, it's only safer for those who side with them. So if you get on their bad side. Now let's return to that moment of choice. And instead of killing them, you choose to team up with this group to supply water on the black market. As you will see, this creates a very different set of consequences for the city. With water being a precious currency, it brings you access to new resources and trade. But this, in turn, attracts the worst type of people to the area. And this is just a single decision, one out of hundreds you will have to make. But it allows you to carve out your own world. Each player's game experience will be unique. And by the way, this is just what happens in the day. At night, well, things tend to get a lot darker.
Exclusive world premiere.
A lot of time has passed. You've gotten soft, complacent. You always knew this day would come. You always knew the three of you would be needed again. You always... Wait, what? Brand new game featuring body-morphing genre mashups, 3-player couch co-op, 4K hand-drawn 2.5D graphics, and broad, non-specific feature declarations. They're back.
World premiere.
I was born to fight wars that no army could win. There was no fear, no failure. But the rules have changed. The enemy changed. And no one was ready for it.
The Black Hand. They are the world's most powerful private army. But even they should fear what they've created. This isn't a war, Rico. This is survival.
Does that happen a lot?
Want me getting shot at? All the time.
World premiere. From the Coalition, please welcome Studio Head Rod Ferguson.
"13 years ago, when I began my Gears of War journey, we had no idea how big this franchise would become. And as it's grown, we've dreamed of taking it to new places in different ways to reach even more fans. And that's why today we're announcing Gears Pop, a collaboration with our friends at Funko to bring a unique mobile spin to the world of Gears. And mobile is not the only new place we're going. I'm excited to also announce a true Gears of War PC experience in a completely different genre, Gears Tactics. You create a whole new squad 12 years before Gears of War 1 as they hunt a locust monster maker responsible for destroying whole cities. It's our take on the classic turn-based strategy genre with a character-driven story, faster, more aggressive gameplay, a customizable squad and equipment, and of course, it wouldn't be a Gears game without a massive boss battles. We look forward to sharing more about Tactics with you soon. But it's not just about going to new places. It's also about having new experiences. And the amazing team at the Coalition is working hard to bring you our most ambitious Gears of War title yet, Gears 5. As Kate, you'll journey across the biggest and most beautiful world we've ever created, with the war for humanity escalates on two fronts, outside the capital city and within Kate herself. In this moment from the game, Kate leads a rescue mission to a remote village, but something goes horribly wrong.
No. Kate, you can't see this. You don't want to see this. I'm sorry. Kate? I'm sorry. Thanks for coming here.
Of course. Can I recommend we maybe get these people out of here?
Hey, just slow down.
No, Foz is right. We need to move.
What are you talking? He's dead, man. Give her a minute.
She'll get her minute in the Raven.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Del, we need to leave.
I'm not going.
Excuse me?
For months now, I've been having these dreams. Nightmares. But I think they were messages.
What?
Something's happening to me.
It's your grandmother's? Enough. We'll deal with this later. Foz, round these people up.
I need help.
There's a place up north. I think we can find you answers there.
No. Absolutely not. We have orders.
You'll go with me?
God damn it, both of you, listen.
I'll go with her. Look, if you're missing, Jen will notice.
Okay. I'll push Jack the coordinates. No, Corporal, you're coming back to New Ephira. That is a direct order.
Well, Captain, screw your order. This isn't about you, it's about me. I need to fix this.
Hey, watch her. A necklace? That's a locust symbol.
The future of gaming AI. So the worlds and characters we enjoy will be even more rich and more immersive. Our cloud engineers are building a game streaming network to unlock console quality gaming on any device. Not only that, we are dedicated to perfecting your experience everywhere you want to play. On your Xbox, your PC, or your phone. And of course, our hardware team. The same team that delivered unprecedented performance with Xbox One X is deep into architecting the next Xbox consoles, where we will once again deliver on our commitment to set the benchmark for console gaming. And let's talk about our games themselves. We are committed to building an industry-leading first-party studios organization. And as you saw earlier, we are making one of our greatest single-year investments in teams by adding 5 new creative studios. We have committed our team, our company, our technical resources, so we can declare to you today and next year and all of the years after that, you will always experience the best in gaming on Xbox. So choose the games you want to play. There are worlds to be saved, heroes to be made, and legends to become. Together. Thanks, and have a great Easter.
In 2077, they voted my city the worst place to live in America. Main issues, sky-high rate of violence, and more people living below the poverty line than anywhere else. Can't deny it, it's all true. But everybody still wants to live here. This city's always got a promise for you. Might be a lie, an illusion. But it's there, just around the corner. And it keeps you going. It's a city of dreams. And I'm a big dreamer.
You think you wanna play now? You think you wanna play now? This is my playground. This is my playground.
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2018, your home for the biggest show in gaming. Tag us on Twitter at IGN and use the hashtag E3 2018 to let us know what you think about all the big reveals coming out of Microsoft. Still ahead, we've got more Xbox demos, including Forza Horizon 4 next. But first, let's get into what we just saw. Joining me are Brandon, Miranda, and Ryan. Guys, that was a really great show.
That was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Kind of shaking. It was very exciting.
I thought
it was awesome.
Tears for a second, like one of those announcements was super important to me. So
Yeah.
I'm just...
So we got updates on a lot of Xbox exclusive games. We're getting DLC for State of Decay. We got PUBG updates. We got Sea of Thieves updates. But of course, Halo 6 opened the show. What did you guys think of that trailer?
I was blown away by a couple things. Number one, it was evocative of Halo 1, which I imagine is very, very much by design. Right. And number two, even more excitingly, as someone who's played every single Halo game, longtime Halo fan, we're on a new engine. They have rebuilt the technology. This is a brand new engine for Halo. And it's also just worth noting, whether it means anything or not, we've dropped numbers. No 6. This is Halo Infinite. We were in what was, the Reclaimer saga. So is this still part of that? Or after Halo 5, are we kind of taking a little bit of a reroute with the plot? I don't know. But the fact that this is evoking Halo 1 very intentionally on a brand new piece of technology makes me very, very excited.
Threw us at the start. We were like,
the wildlife.
Hey, is this Halo? And then we were like, oh, it's totally Halo. But it took a while for us to figure that out.
That's right, yeah. I don't know where this takes place.
It's on Halo.
Yeah.
Oh, it is on Halo. That's right.
The
Right
Halo
at the end of
teased
it.
at the end of Halo 5.
So it's awesome because at the very end we see Master Chief's helmet, and it puts what we were talking about before the conference. It puts Master Chief between the enemies of the universe and humanity, and I think that's exactly where he needs to be. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't until we got to that cockpit that I was sure this was Halo. Beforehand, I'm going back to it. The wildlife was just very weird to me.
Yes.
Because that's not something that I think of when I think of Halo. Like, yeah, birds and stuff. So I'm really curious to see how built out and fully fleshed this is going to be.
There is a question of, is this, with such a space that we're seeing here in this teaser.
I'm sorry, I just noticed you can see the warthog in the reflection of the helmet.
Nice.
I didn't notice that at first. That's a cool touch.
Is this going to be open world? Is that a possibility here?
That's a really good
Open world on a Halo? What happens when you get to the edge of the ring? Do you just fall off?
Oh, that's a good question.
How does that work?
But yeah, there it is. Halo Infinite.
I think it looks really, really beautiful. We have no idea what game it's going to be. Obvious focus on Chief, but they did kind of do that with 5 as well. We still had him in the trailer there, so we don't really know what that means. I think I like the name, though. I like the...
But I did, remember, I did say beforehand, the only main character we better see is him, and that's all we got.
We didn't see him first,
no lock, no,
We also got a little snippet of him putting an AI pack in the back of his helmet, meaning an AI or maybe Cortana again. So
I feel like it's probably a different AI.
It might be.
We'll see.
But it was, I mean, it was blue though.
Yeah. It was
had
blue.
that blue glow to it.
It's so funny to think, we saw another character and it's just a little blue disc.
It's a chip and we're all like, who is it? Oh, I'm so excited. It's crazy.
Yeah, like they emphasized that at the end of the conference as well in that reel. Like it was Chief putting in something in the back of his head. So.
As we suspected as well. I mean, all but confirmed by not saying anything. No 2018 for this game.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
But, which we expected, but
that's right.
Yeah, nothing there. So
I kind of wouldn't even be surprised if we don't find out the release date until next year's E3. Like maybe it's late next year. Otherwise,
that's
it'll be
the
an
case,
Inside Xbox
but if it's
probably.
spring, like we were speculating before the conference began, I wonder if Gamescom could be the place where we get a first proper gameplay demo, a little more detail on what this game is and where it is and what that release date might be.
Yeah. So I also wanted to talk about those big first-party acquisitions.
Oh man,
this is a huge deal. Basically, they bought 5 studios.
5 studios.
Well, bought 4 and started 1.
And started 1. Sure. So we've got Santa Monica, Undead Labs, Ninja Theory, Playground,
Compulsion,
who's working on We Happy Few. What do you guys make of this?
I think this is exactly what we were. I mean, we predicted and we were expecting. Microsoft comes out.
I wasn't expecting 5.
Right,
yeah, me either. I was like, they're still going.
Yeah.
Microsoft comes out, reaffirms their commitment to first party, to games, to gamers, and that is the Microsoft Santa Monica studio that we had heard they were doing their Quad A games called The Initiative, and I can't wait to see what comes out of that. It's going to be. I don't think we'll see a game from The Initiative on Xbox One. I think it'll be a next Xbox.
That's a great point. I mean, that was a lot of the reaction I saw on Twitter, which is fair. Like most of these titles from these studios are probably not going to be primarily, they might be playable on an Xbox One, but they're going to be next generation Xbox games.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Phil teasing even just mentioning a next-generation Xbox at the end of the conference.
Already hard at work on architecture.
Yeah, you're totally right, Brandon. But the fact of the matter is, the first-party solution that Microsoft has found themselves in over the last few years, there is no quick fix.
No.
It doesn't exist. So
you can't make a game in 6 months.
Yeah, you can't wallow in that. So you have to take this and say, well, yes, no, there is no immediate fix, but they're working on it. They're committed to it, and as time goes on and we build towards this next generation Xbox that Phil Spencer just acknowledged, we've got a much larger stable of first-party studios with a lot of talent on board to make these games. And one of those games mentioned was not Fable. So that's still to come.
Sorry, Alana. It really did break my heart a little bit, not having Fable mentioned there. I was like, I was holding out for it, but it's okay. I feel like this was a really solid show with a lot of stuff that was exciting for me. Yes. So if we had 50 games, I think it was 18 console exclusives. There were a bunch of launch exclusives in there. So
I think this conference sort of encapsulates what Microsoft has done well the last couple of years, which is, your big tentpole franchises, your indie darlings. I mean, how cute was Tunic, right?
Oh my goodness.
With the ID at Xbox program, you had head of engineering come out and talk about what they're doing on a tech side, and Microsoft's very firmly entrenched in the tech side of the console industry. And you had just basically an announcement from every angle talking about the present and the future. I think they knocked it out of the park. I think this was a great conference.
This was their best. I mean, I think they've generally put on a very good conference every year. This was one of their best ever. I mean, this was just start to finish. So much good stuff. I mean, you can't help but you have to find something you like.
Right, like there's a little something for everyone here, I think. And it's just nice to see that and then not mention anything about entertainment or all the shows.
The Game Pass block was a little bit of a lull, but it was a long conference too. It was jam-packed with a lot of good stuff.
Like, 100 minutes, something like that?
Yeah.
So it was quite long. And, outside of what you were talking about, there's a little bit of a sag in the middle, but, we're talking about Game Pass, we're talking about the engineering side, the tech side of it. And then, right out the other side, it was more games, more announcements, more world premieres.
And I really want to just throw to our reaction to when the Gears of War, the COG logo came up on the screen. We were like, oh, it's finally here. And then a Pop Funko figure comes out. And we were like, no.
Then I was like, no. I was like, is this going to be their announcement? But they had more games. Like you said, the rumor of 3 games.
Yeah,
it happened.
3 games.
Gears Tactics. I want to know who's developing Gears Tactics.
Me too.
Yeah.
Is it the coalition? Presumably, I mean, I've got to figure it's in partnership with someone in the same way that 343 partnered up with Creative Assembly on Halo Wars.
Yeah, for sure. It has to be some kind of partnership. It looks really cool to me. Like, I'm actually excited about this one.
That's a game I definitely want to play.
Yeah.
Of course, Gears 5.
Yes. So, must say, I did not hear the entirety of the Gears 5 trailer. We were like scrambling and being like, I can't hear everything they're saying.
That's right.
But it looked very good.
Yeah. I want to start by adding Gears 5, not Gears of War.
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
So
that's right, the logo.
I wonder what the sort of impetus for that is.
Yeah.
And what sort of, if there's an explanation for that,
It's
or
just
if
their
it's
logo?
just a rebrand.
There's no war. There's no war. It's gone. The war's over.
done.
Oh, it's a dating sim. Excellent.
Yeah. It's all about mechanics now.
I can't tell you how happy it made me to see Marcus Phoenix still there. I talked about that exact thing before we went, before the conference started. It's just, he's too good a character. John DiMaggio, too good a voice actor. I'm so glad he's still along for the ride.
But it is worth mentioning, it seems like this is a little bit in the future. JD Phoenix looks quite different. He's got a shaved head. He's got a big scar on his face.
He's a big problem with his arm.
He's a full-grown man now. Yeah, look at him.
Perhaps at least the most exciting thing for me is when Rod was out on the stage saying, we're following her adventure. We're following Kate's adventure. And
I love Kate.
So
Miranda had a full-blown meltdown.
A brown woman as a lead in a AAA shooter just was like,
there was some tears. There was some tears involved.
Yeah,
she's a really strong character.
I love her character a lot. I love to see this evolution of like focusing on building out the Gears universe even more and seeing this trio's adventure, of course, with Marcus and everybody involved. And
I'm totally with you, Ryan. Seeing Marcus in the background was like very important to me as a staple of the series. I've grown really attached to him, but I also
didn't have any doubt about that.
Yeah, but I also think this grouping of characters and it was the emotional setting. There was no Gary Jules Mad World like I was hoping for, but it just shows Gears as a game that's about family, really.
Yeah.
It is about being part of Delta Squad and always feeling like you're part of Delta Squad. And I feel like that vibe is definitely still here as well.
And Alana, you talked about the heart of Gears of War.
Yeah.
The sort of almost ironic heart. This game about these big, burly meathead guys. But it turns out there's so much heart to Gears. And that's our first taste of Gears 5. it just doubles down on that. We watched a cutscene before we got some, by the way, really impressive gameplay.
Oh my gosh,
snippets to look at as well.
It looked like there were some new weapons in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, new variants of the Swarm.
Yeah.
I can't believe we saw more Gears 5 than Halo Infinite.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Which was kind of cool, kind of crazy.
I kind of figured it was going to be that way. Since it has been so long since we've heard anything about Halo, I think they are doubling down on making sure they get this right. And they want to show it when they're ready to probably get close to putting it out.
Well, I'm kind of wondering, release date-wise, if this does mean we're getting both Halo and Gears next year.
I think we are.
I think
it's going to happen.
How do you think they're going to time that?
I think Gears will go first, Halo goes second. I think you're maybe...
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, based off what we've seen, right? We saw much
fair.
more Gears than we saw of Halo.
True.
So I'm, throwing it out, like just throwing a dart out. Gears in late spring, maybe early summer, and then Halo in the fall.
Gears 4 came out a year after Halo 5. So there's a pretty big gap there.
If we put our speculation hats on, that makes me wonder if they went just totally back to the ground, built it from the ground up. Halo.
Well, clearly with the new engine, right?
Yeah.
That's fair to say. But yeah, I mean, could they both be fall titles? I do think Halo would still come first, just based on, again, previous timeline. But you're right, it's not impossible. And I mean, could they come out swinging with, Gears in October and Halo in November this year? Next year, rather? It could happen.
It could, but you also have to remember they've got to bring in 3 Gears games into that marketing cycle as well. I know the other 2 they probably don't expect to be as heavy hitters, but they have to consider it somehow. So I don't know when we're going to find that out. Maybe we'll get a little more information at Gamescom. But I just wanted to remind everyone that we've got all the press conferences you can handle here on IGN, like Ubisoft and PlayStation on Monday, and the Nintendo Showcase and Treehouse Live on Tuesday, plus the Fortnite 50v50 Celebrity Pro-Am only on IGN.com. So you're pretty much booked for the next week. But we still have plenty more Microsoft stuff to talk about. Cyberpunk.
Ooh.
That's what we saw at the very end.
Yeah.
And that was probably the heavy hitter for me. That was the thing I was most excited to see. It was so colorful.
I think so too. And just a quick aside, I love the way they introduced it. Phil Spencer says, "Thanks for coming." Static.
Oh yeah, and we've never seen that before. We've never seen anyone take over the font of like the launch or the world exclusive logo that they have. Someone actually managed to replace that.
I think this is excellent. I mean, what I'm seeing, look, we don't know much about it now, but what I'm seeing is a super big, well-realized world of like the gritty future where technology is just part of everyday life and people are, they don't bat an eyelash at it,
Right. But just going to what Alana said, like having it be so bright and colorful is unexpected, right? Because a lot of times we get these cyberpunk settings, it's like kind of dark, but it has that neon lining on it.
Yeah.
And this is just so much cooler than that.
And I love that too. Like you don't have to have a dystopian future where technology and mankind have fused into one and have it be gray and brown and gritty and visceral.
Yeah,
like it can be colorful and fun.
Exactly. I appreciate that this, no disrespect obviously to The Witcher, but this is different in every conceivable way certainly from an artistic and tone and setting perspective.
Looks like a different studio.
It really does. And that's just showcases the talent on hand at CD Projekt Red. So I can't wait to see this.
There's a lot of like seemingly it's not VR, that people are plugged into something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shots of that, like people having to pull something out of the backs of their heads that's really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a ubiquitous consciousness that everyone just sort of plugs into or if that's just the level of technology now, but it seems like everyone is jacked into something.
But I feel like there's a lot to pick apart in this too.
Yeah, we've only got a minute left to talk about it, but I did want to say maybe there's some kind of like Matrix tie-in that we're going to see there with people being plugged into some kind of cyber world that maybe there are 2 separate universes that we can jump between.
Could be.
Cool.
Almost a Ready Player One kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a kid using like a VR headset, so there's still that sort of technology incorporated, so it's not like they just have to close their eyes and they're somewhere else.
So what do you want it to be? Do you want it to be like GTA style, or do you want it to be more of a Witcher style?
I do want a role-playing game still.
Yeah,
I mean, that
it
would
is a
still
role-playing
be...
game. We know that much, so it is going to be a role-playing game, but what about a mash between the 2?
Yeah.
We want it to be open world, of
marriage.
course. I don't want to have to jump between loading screens to get between things.
The shot at the end with the guy in the car makes me think that this is going to be not so Witcher as far as linear. You ride a horse from town to town. Like, you're going to have freeways. You're going to have cities.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot to explore.
Bar mini games maybe like GTA. Fighting mini games like GTA. Like there's
Real
cars
Steel.
around here. There's people doing makeup. Is that a mini game? Like I don't know, but I wonder if we'll find out some more about Cyberpunk 2077 from CD Projekt Red very soon. You've been watching IGN Live at E3 2018, the best place to be for all the latest gameplay, exclusive first looks, and hands-on demos you can handle. If you want all your E3 bases covered, keep watching us at IGN.com, download our app, and tune into us on Disney XD.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers, and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks. Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
E3 2018 is finally here. All the major players are ready to enter the arena, and the question on everyone's mind, whose game will be the best in show? Bethesda, masters of sprawling open worlds. They're so confident in their E3 lineup, they couldn't help but deliver early reveals that include Rage 2 and Fallout 76.
Our future begins.
Square Enix, RPG pioneer turned third-party powerhouse. Kingdom Hearts 3 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider are easy crowd pleasers this year. But Square Enix is sitting on a secret weapon.
They are coming back.
The Final Fantasy VII Remake could be its biggest game changer yet.
We're not forgotten.
Ubisoft, the mega franchise factory. This year, it's betting everything on its sequels. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, The Division 2, and the long-awaited release of Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Bon appetito!
Sony, the leader of the pack. Spider-Man and The Last of Us Part 2 are looking to elevate the incredible bar set by God of War. And expect more sleepless nights of theorizing with another look at Hideo Kojima's head-scratching blockbuster, Death Stranding. Microsoft, the hallowed halls of Halo. 2017, it proved it had the most powerful console on the market, the Xbox One X. Now it's time to see if new entries in iconic franchises like Halo, Gears of War, Perfect Dark, and Fable are on the horizon. Nintendo, the house that Mario built. Riding in on that Nintendo Switch swagger has them feeling like Funky Kong. And with games like Metroid Prime 4 and both Pokemon Let's Go titles, the future of Nintendo's hybrid console is shining brighter than the sun. The stage is set. The players are ready. Who will be crowned the king of E3 2018?
Welcome to IGN Live at E3 2018. I'm Alana Pierce, and I hope you're all prepared to have your minds blown, because if you can name a game, we've got it. Ori 2, got it. First look at Jump Force, got it. A sneak peek at We Happy Few's long-awaited single-player campaign, definitely got that too. And before we get any further, I have to say thank you all so much, because IGN just hit 10 million subscribers on YouTube. Seriously, that's so incredible. We couldn't be bringing you this awesome show without that support. So speaking of which, we're also bringing you live coverage of all the major press conferences, Ubisoft, PlayStation, Nintendo, plus we're going to be streaming the Fortnite 50v50 Celebrity Pro-Am on IGN.com. Remember, if you want to be a part of the conversation, check us out on Twitter at IGN and leave us your comments using the hashtag E32018. But now it's time to take a look at the all-new Forza Horizon 4. Joining us from Playground Games, let's welcome Ralph Fulton. Welcome.
Thank you.
You just revealed the game. How are you feeling?
We just did. I feel great. I feel better for not being on the stage anymore. But yeah, we feel great about it.
It looks absolutely gorgeous. Can you tell us a bit about the setting? Where are we going to be able to explore this time around?
Right, yeah. So ending months of speculation.
Yeah.
Forza Horizon 4 is set in beautiful, historic Britain.
It looks lovely.
It's a lovely country. We have, I guess, rediscovered over the last 18 months or so. Obviously, it's where Playground Games is located. I guess most of us probably grew up in that country as well.
Yeah.
And we agonized over where to set the game, as we always did. As we always do, and a bunch of people within the studio made a really great pitch for the UK, for Britain. And I'm delighted that they did, and they did it so well, and that we chose it, because I think we've created the most authentic open world in Britain that we've ever done.
That's all. I mean, you are right there, so.
Well, we would have no excuse not to. Yeah. There's also kind of that pride, I think, right? And I think it's been a passion project for the team. They want to make sure that we're showing Britain at its absolute best. And we know when something's not quite right. Maybe like we didn't in Australia. But
no comment.
Yeah,
no, it was
but
great.
certainly in Britain, we absolutely know when something's not quite right.
In Britain, being pretty rainy. You guys have a full season system here. How does it work?
So, and this is absolutely integral to, I think, to the pitch of the game. I don't think we could have done Britain if we didn't also do dynamic seasons, which is really, I think, the pivotal signature feature of Forza Horizon 4. Britain is a country which is like defined by its seasons. It's, it's all we ever talk about, really.
Pretty much.
That's a generalization, but we do love chatting about our weather, and our seasons are incredibly distinct. Not every country can claim that. Certainly. In the UK, it's true. So I don't think we would have done UK or Britain if we weren't doing seasons. I don't think we would have done seasons and then not done Britain, because the two just really go hand in glove. I'm delighted that we have done it. It was a huge Herculean task to achieve dynamic seasons in an open world. But a bunch of really smart people and really hard-working people came together from all disciplines within the studio to make it a reality. And you can see it now in the footage that we're watching as we transition from autumn to winter, as is the way it goes. And you can see absolutely how completely
frozen over.
That does actually happen. That authenticity I was talking about. You can see how absolutely it changes the world. So this is exactly the location you were driving in just a few seconds previously in autumn, and it's now completely frozen over. You're jumping onto a frozen river here, which is probably less advisable. But you can see as you go up the hill in the deep snow, you're sort of deforming it as you go, and the whole world has changed, not just in terms of the visuals, but in terms of the audio, in terms of the way the cars handle the driving experience and the gameplay that you'll have there.
So, the activities that are available also change depending on the weather?
They do, yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the really great hook that we have around dynamic seasons in Forza Horizon 4. It's not just a palette change. It's not just a visual tune-up that happens between seasons. The game is a shared open world, so everything is synchronized across all players.
Right.
So we are always in winter together, and then when it moves to spring, it does so for all the players. Yeah, everything is synchronized time of day, weather conditions, and seasons, as I said. And you will get different gameplay, you'll get different content, different events that happen in different seasons. So you've always got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Kind of like you do in real life.
Yeah, well, mostly. It's been a very exciting week this week. So one thing that I kind of wanted to ask about, to get really specific, when it comes to things like collectible items like billboards or barn finds, do those also vary depending on season?
So I'll give you an example which is really pertinent to what we're looking at here. So this is a race finishing out on a frozen lake.
Yeah.
That lake is only frozen in the winter season for 3 seasons of the year. It looks like that. It's a big body of water. That's what a lake is.
Wow, thank you for that. Please talk more about lakes.
I'm full of facts like that. In the winter season, of course, when it is frozen, there are a couple of islands in that lake that you can gain access to that normally you wouldn't be able to. And I don't feel I'm giving too much away to say that there is a barn find on one of those things. So I think that's the perfect example of what you're asking about.
How is that going to work for things like blueprints, assuming that you have the player-created blueprint system coming back?
Yeah, and we do, and we've enhanced it, and that's, I guess, another story altogether. But yeah, I think your question is, how does that work across the seasons? I think we have to do a bit of checking with that. I think when you create something, whether it's a new championship or a new route, which is entirely new for Forza Horizon 4, you can create your own point-to-point or circuit events and design those circuits and point-to-points yourself. We do a bit of a check to make sure that your route doesn't take you through something which doesn't exist, for example, in a different season. There's a little bit of sanity checking happens behind the scenes.
Sounds difficult, but it looks like a lot of fun. And okay, I'm a huge fan of the Forza Horizon series in general, and since 2, I've been like, how are they going to make this better? And then 3, and I was like, you've done it. It's the pinnacle of arcade races. You could never improve upon this. It's perfect. So I wanted to ask, what are some of the other changes that you guys have added in?
Yeah, I mean, we got that a lot after Forza Horizon 3, and it's enormously complimentary, right? We were thrilled to have that feedback, and still.
Is it daunting as well, though? You're like, oh, we've made the perfect game. Oh no.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it has to be. I think I'd have been more daunted if we didn't have the team we do back at Playground. We didn't have the great minds and the incredible work ethic that we have back at that studio. I kind of knew we would crack that in time, but sure, yeah, when you're setting out on a project like this, there is that voice in the back of your mind saying, well, what if they're right? I honestly feel like this is our best work ever. I think this is the best Forza Horizon. And it's the combination of 3 really big ideas, I think. 2 we've talked about already, like the setting in Britain, which has resulted in this incredibly authentic world. The fact that we have dynamic seasons, which is this huge thing for an open world game.
Absolutely.
And then the third thing, which we call living the Horizon life, and this is, I guess, how we frame up what you're going to do actually in this world of Britain with dynamic seasons. And living in the Horizon life just dovetails with those 2 ideas perfectly, in the sense that time is passing now, right? You have seasons, and time will pass in the open world as you live there. And maybe you're not going to Horizon just for a great holiday anymore, that perfect summer. Maybe you're actually going there to live, and we started thinking about what that would mean for the player. You're going to have to get yourself a house. You can't sleep in your car. You're going to have to get yourself a job. Obviously, you'll do so in a very Horizon style. It's not going to be mundane. But these are the things.
You're actually an accountant?
Yeah. There are some really fun jobs that you can get. You can be a stunt driver. You can be the guy or girl who drives the cars on an automotive magazine show, naming no names. So there's a bunch of different things that you can go out and do in what we call a feature we call Horizon Stories. You can customize your character. You can choose the outfits. You can choose the accessories. You can choose the emotes you use when you win in the game. So there's a whole lot more bedding in of your identity within the world.
That. I think that's a really creative idea, and that's so cool. Does that mean that when we're in our houses, we can physically get out of the car and walk around?
It doesn't, and that's. I think that's a question everybody asks, and it was a place that, to be honest, we just didn't really want to go.
Yeah.
For us, it's all about the cars. We have more than 450 in this game, which is a still more ludicrous number than last time. Yeah. And you'll be parking your car outside, and you'll be able to examine it in Forza Vista mode, which has been in the Forza series for a bunch of games now. But really, the house is all about having a base within the world, a place that you can call your own. And it being Britain, that house can be anything from a cute little cottage in the Cotswolds to Edinburgh Castle.
That's cool. I mean, we're just about to cut to a break, but I wanted to ask really quickly, is that going to be looped into the auctions in any way?
So Auction House does return. I'm not aware of any plans that we have to allow you to
I know that would be like very next level, but
yeah, absolutely. Maybe if the job you get is a realtor or something like that. But I'm literally designing on the fly now.
Alrighty, it is time to take a break, everyone. But next up, we're going to be diving back into all the big reveals from the Xbox press conference. The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks. Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2018. Coming up, Microsoft's own Aaron Greenberg is stopping by to give us some Xbox secrets. But before we get to that, let's take a moment to process the metric ton of bombs Microsoft dropped at their press conference today. And to help me sort through it, we've got Damon Hatfield and Lucy O'Brien. What did you guys think of Microsoft's showcase?
Overall?
Yeah.
I thought it was a good showing this year. Very good showing. They just had game after game after game after game. Didn't spend
a little bit of Game Pass and then more game.
Yeah. Didn't spend too much time talking about ancillary stuff like Game Pass and stuff.
Yeah.
Just some specific highlights that stood out to me: Cyberpunk, Tomb Raider, Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really strong showing. I loved the epic quantity of games.
I know.
But I also really like at the end that we were teased a bit about the future of Microsoft's next console.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Bill
thought that was a really bold thing to do.
Didn't expect it at all.
No.
Yeah, but I wanted to talk to you guys first about Fallout 76 and what we actually saw of that. This is the first time we've seen proper gameplay, seemingly, assuming that first tease wasn't any gameplay. And I still don't know what the game is.
Yeah.
What are you guys thinking?
I remain excited to see what this game is.
Excited, question mark?
Yeah. I know we obviously will be seeing a lot more of it tonight at the Bethesda conference. It was nice to see it here, but it wasn't really enough to tell me exactly what the game is yet.
Yeah, well, the rumors are that it's going to be some kind of open world multiplayer survival game online rather than a usual Fallout. There's no way this is Fallout 5. Obviously it's not called that, but I really don't think it's going to be the same single player experience we're used to. And one thing that makes me think that is there's a part in this demo where we saw the Brotherhood of Steel armor just sitting under a bit of sand, and there were so many people that walked past it, and I think that that's potentially them alluding to how many people are going to be in the wasteland.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that it's going to be like an Elder Scrolls Online style dealy.
You think it's going to be an MMO?
I think it's going to be an MMO.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, that's where my head is at. But what I thought was really interesting about this one in particular is that it really did just give us a taste. And I was sort of like, I was the same as you guys. I was sort of thinking, well, what is this? What is this? And I'm really excited that we're going to find out so soon because Bethesda's conference is happening in a few hours.
I know. It was a weird choice, actually.
That's why I was surprised to see Todd Howard there, and it's like, oh, they're going to reveal Fallout 76 ahead of their own conference, but no, they didn't really. They just gave us a little bit more of a tease.
Gave us even more questions. That thing that was flying in the sky just a second ago, that looks new. I'm not used to seeing flying enemies in Fallout, and this particularly interests me. This is the White House, question mark? And I'm assuming, and it's got this beautiful garden around it, and it all looks so pristine. A lot of the VO in the trailer spoke about needing to rebuild. So, like, there was part of me that was like, what if it's just like a mass shelter builder?
Well,
like a mass, like, open world rebuilding.
It's 4 times the size of Fallout.
Of Fallout 4.
Right.
I mean, that is really large.
Could be really cool as long as the world's actually filled with
interesting stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff to do in there.
I think that's my favorite thing about Fallout is actually that the open world, like you'll walk for 20 minutes in one direction and then come across a side quest that's just insane and super exciting. So I'm not super worried about that, but I was wondering if maybe it'll have some kind of crafting elements to make it more like hanging out with your friends on a Minecraft server where you can all build different stuff around the open world. I don't know how likely that is, but I think I'd be cool with it. Did you guys mess with the shelter building?
That was like I did not mess with it at all.
Either, but I know
was
that people
so
do like
by it.
I know people do like it. Some people say it's their favorite part of it.
A lot of people just got really stuck into it for like 50 hours, naming no names. It was totally me. But
I love it in theory, and I love that. If that game exists, I love it in theory. It's just not for me.
Yeah, and I think this looks really colorful. The setting obviously doesn't look dramatically different. So one question I want to ask is, it's still a few years away for sure, but what would you guys want from Fallout 5? Because now I'm like, where would I want that game to even be set if it was that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like interesting areas that we haven't visited yet. We've been on both sides of the coast, I guess.
Yeah, I imagine it has to be American. It's such an American game.
It has to be American. I just want to see a little bit more advancement, I suppose. Like we've kind of done the post-apocalyptic thing. It'd be great to go post-apocalyptic in the next setting. So
obviously this one's a prequel. Like Todd Howard confirmed that on stage. We kind of knew that anyway, but I think it's something like 20 years before the earliest game in the series being Fallout 1. So it is a prequel, and everyone's obviously coming out of Vault 76, which, if you don't know, is a control vault, which basically means people in that vault weren't experimented on. There was about 500 people. I don't think that this is going to be a server with 500 people, but that's the idea, is that it's going to be a big old reclamation for the people coming out of that vault. And I don't know, just so many question marks.
Todd did confirm it takes place in West Virginia, which I think was just a theory before.
Because of the song?
Because of the song.
Yeah.
But now we know for sure.
We know for sure.
How do we feel about that?
Listen,
that's a cool area.
I'm from Australia. I don't know anything about West Virginia.
I don't know anything either. Damon!
West Virginia is a beautiful country, pre-apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Are
there any landmarks there that we can look out for?
Well, I'm sure there are. I'm not from the area
we
myself.
Don't have anyone here who knows anything about West Virginia.
We're all just trying.
Geography. Well, we just talk about video games for a living. Don't ask me about America. I don't know anything about that. But I am definitely interested to find out more. And it seems like the community reaction has been, mostly people thinking it's Fallout 5, which, I'm not super sold on. But is there anything that you guys have had in the Fallout franchise that you desperately want to change, or anything you'd like to see different? Like, I would have loved to see a New Vegas too. I would have really liked that.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Or I would even love just like a remastered version of New Vegas to revisit that world.
Make it Skyrim. Just put it on every platform.
Yep. Yeah. Give New Vegas the Skyrim treatment.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. Bring New Vegas to the Switch.
Yeah.
Let it get on Switch.
Yeah, I think for me, as long as it maintains that, as you say, those like idiosyncratic like side quests where you just explore and it's just full of just crazy weird stuff to do.
Yeah,
that's what I'm after.
Vampire
that's what I want.
quests.
Exactly, that's what I want.
Give me all
from
of that
Fallout.
stuff. Yeah. Okay. So one other reveal that I thought was a pretty heavy hitter was Shadows Die Twice. I don't remember what the actual name of the game was.
Sekiro.
Sekiro. There you go.
I actually wrote it on my hand.
Oh, nice. Very well prepared. I thought this one was crazy because it's a FromSoft game. When it was revealed at the Game Awards with that weird bone trap thing, everyone thought it was going to be Bloodborne 2. It's not, and it was on Xbox's stage. What did you guys think of this one?
I mean, I am so excited by this game. Like, what I love is that tease that we got last year is actually his amputated arm.
Oh,
his
you're
arm
right.
prosthetic.
You're totally right.
So he had his arm amputated by this rival character that we see in this trailer, and that was actually a close-up of the prosthetic that he has. And I love this. I mean, it's so colorful. It's set, obviously, sometime sort of in the 1500s in Japan.
You're right, it is more colorful than a usual
so
FromSoft
much
game.
more colorful.
Bloodborne is basically just completely black and shiny.
Yeah.
This does look very, very different, but it does also look very Souls-like in combat, in boss fights.
It does, and I hate using this word, but it's like this sort of, it's quite kinetic, like the way that the sort of sword play that we see in this trailer, it's brutal and fast and heavy. You can feel every hit. I also really love the fact that, you know, you can sort of grapple around the world.
Yeah, he's doing some kind of free running.
Yeah.
Well, he's got this grappling hook.
That's
attached
part
to
of his arm?
prosthetic. Yeah, and he sort of moves around this world like Spider-Man.
It's really cool.
I like that guy that
did he just vomit on
barfs
his sword?
He's got a whole barf sword.
That's
Gotta
just
watch out for
unclean, man. Yeah. Yes, the boss barf sword, as he is known.
I think this looks really cool. I really like the fantasy Japanese setting. I like, you got some really cool monsters here. The only thing for me, the only question mark for me is I'm not really a Dark Souls Bloodborne guy. So if it plays just like that, that might not click for me. But I really like the mobility we're seeing here.
Well, that's a question, is maybe because of that added mobility, there'll be more option to evade fights. I could see that being a thing, especially since there is also, shots of him, like you said, like Spider-Man, Lucy, kind of just jumping out of the way. So I wonder if, even evading that, I think the combat looks faster. It's more Bloodborne in pace probably, but maybe there is a way for you to like sort of avoid getting too close quarters if you want to.
Yeah.
Well, certainly, it takes a little bit of inspiration from Tenchu, which is another From Software,
which a lot of people
franchise.
wondered this might be.
Yeah, and that was, that had stealthy elements in
Mm-hmm.
Tenchu, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see that return in this game as well.
So, question, because this was revealed today, do you guys think that Bloodborne 2 is still incoming?
No, because it's been confirmed that Miyazaki is directing this, so that means the core team
is working on
this.
In theory, someone else could direct it. You're crushing my dreams, Lucy.
Really, though?
Probably
Do
not.
we want
I think
anyone else
people would be
directing
pretty mad if it wasn't Miyazaki
Me too.
running it, but we're just crushing everyone's hopes and dreams.
I mean, I wanted to see Bloodborne 2 as well, but I'm also really happy with what we've seen today.
Seeing a new IP is always exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as a not Souls fan, Damon, what could it do to really tie you over?
I would want like a little bit more faster, fluid, lighter combat system.
Yeah.
Dark Souls just feels a little plodding to me. I like the whole aesthetic of Dark Souls and the really weird, gross monsters that you fight. Just, the game doesn't feel good to play for me. I know I'm in the minority there. I know you all love it.
You're allowed personal preference. I really love Dark Souls as well. Lucy, you do too.
I do as well, but to your point, Damon, I came on board the Souls series with Bloodborne because the combat was faster.
Yeah.
And then I went back and played all the Souls titles.
Yeah.
So, I
maybe
could see
then
that.
Shadows Die Twice will be my entry point, and then I'll go back to Bloodborne.
That's
and then
right.
back to Dark Souls.
That's right. Just
and then to Demon Souls.
Yeah.
Work your way back.
It's really intense.
People want a HD remaster of Demon Souls too.
Yeah, that's been rumored actually. That's been rumored to be a part of the Nintendo conference. I don't know how likely that is. I guess we'll find out in the coming days.
That would be shocking.
It was probably just another 4chan leak that not really a huge thing.
Totally. But I would really like to see more people coming on board with From Software's more recent games because they're just so beautiful and they're so good.
Yeah.
And they're so hard.
They really
but they're so rewarding. So yeah.
Like you're just expecting say something.
I just want
Tell
you
me
to be
right now that you will play it.
Yes.
You want me to
I
agree?
promise
Okay,
you.
yeah, I'll try Shadows Die Twice.
You said it live on air. Now you can't not play it when it comes out. Was there a release date? Did you guys see that?
It's just 2019.
Yeah.
Man, 2019 is already really becoming a huge year. So we got more
early.
February 22nd games. We have Crackdown, Days Gone, Metro.
Crackdown is just February, but yeah.
No, they confirmed 22nd.
Did they?
They did.
No way.
Yeah, the Xbox account tweeted out February 22nd.
So the same day as Metro Exodus as well?
Yes.
And Days Gone.
And Days Gone. There was one other as well.
What's the other one? Anthem.
Anthem.
What? Oh my, that's
What an
ridiculous.
insane day.
That's a joke. That's sarcasm.
Someone
Two
moved
of those
something.
games are going to blink and change and
I
get a
wouldn't
delay.
be surprised if some of them get delayed, but it's also even being Xbox coming into this conference, I'm surprised they didn't just move Crackdown. Like,
exactly.
I don't know how those marketing teams approach these kind of things. We do have Aaron Greenberg on the show coming up. Maybe we can find out from him. But
Yeah.
it's like, is that the point where you see like February 22nd, oh, February 22nd, oh, February 22nd, let's move our game. Like, I don't know how it works. I'm sure that happened, you know, a lot of games actually moved surrounding Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they had things planned. We're like, wait for Rockstar. Okay, let's move our game a little later or a little earlier. So it's really surprising to me that didn't work out that way.
Yeah. Wow. That's 4 big games on February 22nd.
It's an exciting day. Just so that everyone knows, IGN, I'm already calling sick that day. I'm going to have a cold. Damon, you guys might be sick that day too. Sorry about that. None of us are going to be at work. But, related, it's time for another break, but stay right where you are because still ahead, we have Aaron Greenberg straight from the Xbox press conference. The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks. Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
IGN Live at E3 2018 is back, and we are going to show you every game, every press conference, and every secret spilled. In just a few, we have Xbox's games marketing director, Aaron Greenberg, here in the studio, so sit tight. But right now, we're going to check out one of the most anticipated sequels of the show, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Let's welcome the CEO and game director of M.U.G.E.N Studios, Thomas Mahler, to the IGN stage. Thomas, thank you so much for coming by.
Absolutely, thank you.
Congratulations, you just had a showing of Ori and the Will of the Wisps at the Xbox briefing. This is the first really big meaty look at the game after it was announced last year.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. I know myself and many of our viewers are big fans of the first game.
Oh, thank you.
So what did you want to accomplish when you started approaching the sequel?
I think the big thing that we kind of like want to bring up, and there's a little bit of footage there.
Yeah.
So we read everything that people said about Ori and the Blind Forest, right? And our goal was to really, think about how can we drive this to perfection. Like we had something that people already really liked, you know? And this time it was really about like, how can we improve it even more? How can we really perfect the formula? So what you see here is the combat gameplay. Like we completely redid the combat system and we looked at all the other Metroidvanias and so on, right? And we wanted to take it a level further. So for every player and every play style, there's something in there now. So if you want to play really fast, you have the Spirit Edge weapon and so on. If you want to play slow, you have the Spirit Smash. There's tons and tons of weapons in there. There's spells you can use this time around. It's completely varied. It's crazy the amount of variety we have in there.
And so what we're seeing here, is this an early portion of the game?
This is a little bit later in the game, but we changed the area a little bit for E3 so that people have an easier time playing it.
Because the game was not a cakewalk.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And we do try to keep that. Like we do try to keep a good challenge, but at the same time, for the show we made it a little bit more accessible. And generally, we want the game to be more accessible for people. And there's a lot of mechanics and a lot of new things in there. We really kind of like fluidly try to teach people how the game is being played and so on.
The first game has a couple like emotional gut punch moments.
Oh yeah.
People cried in that game. You're like, all right, in the sequel, we're gonna make them cry even harder.
Yeah, I mean the funny thing is, the original ending that I wrote for Blind Forest is this time actually in the game. Yeah. So, and I mean I think we're gonna bring it home finally this time. Yeah.
So what is it about Metroidvanias that you like? I love Metroidvanias.
Oh, I grew up playing, games like Super Metroid and so on. I mean, when we started Blind Force, there weren't that many around, which is crazy, right? Because right now there's a lot of them.
More of a resurgence right now, yeah.
Right, it was really just about, like, I love the genre, so we just really wanted to look at how can you make the perfect example of that. We really want to, like, we're working so hard on, like, looking at how can we create a masterpiece, right? How can we create something that even a decade from now, people will just enjoy playing, right? It still really holds up. Because if I play games now, like Symphony of the Night still, right? Like, they still hold up, and we're really all about that. We want to make sure, we craft a game that is, first of all, a sequel that people really love, right? That really takes what we did in the first game, but then elevates it to a whole new level. We want to craft something that is just like known as, a masterpiece or a modern classic.
And then what's the story this time, or what's the setup for the sequel this time around?
We don't want to really talk a lot yet.
I understand because the opening moments of the original Ori are kind of like something that you don't want to spoil for you as well. So I understand if you don't want to get too much.
But we've shown during the trailer, you've seen Ori ride on Ku. That's the little owl.
I wanted to ask about that.
There's a lot that'll happen with Ku in this game.
Ku provides you some new abilities?
Yeah, generally there's things that you can do with Ku that you couldn't do before. But I mean, generally, like if you look at this is the burrow gameplay. There's three big things that we are showing in the in the show floor. Like that's maybe people don't know about that yet, but we do have a full playable at the show floor, fully playable build of the Windswept Wastes. And there's three big things that we really want people to focus on. First of all, we have the new combat system. Like this completely revamped and is doing lots of crazy things that I don't think people have really seen in the genre the way we do it yet. And then we have the grapple gameplay, which also adds a whole new ability to Ori. Like one of the abilities that people really liked in Ori and the Blind Forest was the bash. Right. It allowed you to kind of like bash around the area like a ninja, right? And now with the grapple, that's really cool. And then, just for every single area that we have in the game, we want to have completely new, cool gameplay mechanics. And here in the Windswept Waste, we're showing the burrow gameplay. And that means, hey, you can actually like burrow in all the sand and so on and catapult yourself up. And even like use it for combat as seen here, right? So generally, any good ability in Ori is always used for platforming, but then also for puzzles and then also for combat. And us kind of like connecting all of that together so that you really look like a badass little guardian spirit. That's the whole goal.
This is Ori spirit. He is pretty badass. So you say you've revamped the combat system.
Yeah.
So what was it about the system in the first game that wasn't quite working for you, or that you felt needed improvements?
We felt it was a good system for the time because we really wanted to focus on the platforming. So it was all kind of like based around that, right? But this time we really wanted to also elevate the combat so that it has as much variety and as much flow as the actual platforming. So just to really perfect it, right? Like we really wanted to get it up there so that you can really use the combat abilities in combination with all the platforming abilities to just create this flow. To us, game feel is super important to just make sure that if you play a game for 5 minutes that it just feels incredible. And if you play this, like you can do these cool things where it's like you start into a combo, then you dash back, then you grapple yourself up, then you land behind the enemy and launch a special and so on. And that's the kind of gameplay that we're going for this time.
The artwork, of course, is also one of the major selling points for both of these games. It's a 2D game, but of course you can it doesn't feel like a 2D game at all. You can see, I'm looking way into the distance there, and I sometimes you'll see things up close right in front of the camera. So how is that all of your artistic team, or did the level designers work on that as well?
Yeah, we hired a lot of really great talent. Like, I mean, the team that we have at M.U.G.E.N Studios now, it's bananas. That's the team that we get to work with. And yeah, I mean, they're just incredibly talented. And we, one of the big things that we're showing here is that if you look at kind of like how Ori walks around and so on, there's lighting now on everything, and everything is physical. Like, so we brought in all these kind of like physics setups, and then for every single texture that we have in the game now, we actually, like, it's insane, but we started painting 6 light masks so that everything can get properly lit. So every single little piece that you see there now needs 6 textures on top so that you can really have this dynamic lighting going on there. And we're playing with that in terms of gameplay as well.
Do you feel limiting yourself to 2 dimensions provides for more artistic detail and things that you would be much harder to do in 3D? Like, I can't imagine rendering this world in 3D, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think to us it's really just about kind of like perfecting that, right? Like to me, like Ori is a lot about, when I played games like Super Metroid in the past and so on, like the idea is really, what would that look like in 2018, right? If people would have just kept going in that direction, right? And we're really trying to do that. We're really trying to, you know, have just the most incredible animators on this and artists on this, and really try to push that genre to its limits on the hardware that we have.
Yeah. Which do you prefer, Super Metroid or Symphony of the Night?
Super Metroid.
Yeah, you'd still rather play that today?
Yeah.
Man, that's a tough one. All right, so what are we seeing here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of gameplay that we're showing generally in the windswept wastes. You see Ori grappling a lot here. Like every single area in the game has its own unique theme, right? And has its own unique challenges. So what you see here in the windswept waste is there's these breaky platforms that we contextualize. So there's these sand platforms that you jump on and then they actually fall away under you, right? And yeah, there's a lot of that and how we escalate that. There was gameplay that we've just seen here before with like, hey, we have NPCs now, much more featured in this game. And to me, it's kind of like similar to if you compare, for example, Zelda 1 on the NES to like Zelda A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo, right? We wanted to take that step. Like generally, one of the things that I told the team right at the start is that we want Ori and the Will of the Wisps to become to Blind Forest what Super Mario Bros. 3 was to the original Super Mario Bros. So we take that core...
You're skipping over both Adventure of Link and Super Mario Bros. 2. You're just leapfrogging those, going straight to...
But the idea is we wanted to take that core, right, and really just perfect it and really give people all the things that they've asked for. So when we read all these reviews, and like I was on every single message board and everything, I just read everything, right? And basically, I hope with this game we tick like every single check mark that people have in terms of like the gameplay and things that they've been asking for and so on. We really want to make sure that our fans are just super happy, right? And that they get a title that is just that just really makes them super happy.
Yeah. Like we were saying earlier, the first game was pretty emotional. Like, did you hear like a lot from your fans about like how the game touched them and like was meaningful to them?
Oh, there's hundreds of YouTube videos online where people play the game and they actually start crying.
Yeah.
And we finished the story right around last year during our... We finished the story right around last year during our team retreat. We do an annual team retreat, and we pitched the story to the entire team. And there were quite a lot of people that were crying during that meeting. So yeah, it's going to be an emotional ride again, I think.
Not a lot of games do that. So here we're seeing, this is Ku, right?
Yeah, this is Ku. Yeah. So Ku actually plays a pretty big role in this game. Oh yeah, there's the trailer playing. So basically what we really wanted to focus on this year, right? Because last year we announced Ori and showed a couple of the environments. This year we just wanted to really fully go out and say gameplay, right? Like look at all the gameplay, all the different things that we're doing in this game, and just really make sure that, you know, people see the variety. And this is still nothing. I mean, there's so many areas that we weren't able to show off simply because, you have to pack things into 2 minutes, right? But yeah, I mean, I hope people really study this trailer and like research it and then really get answers for, you know, all the questions that they've been slamming us with since last year.
Yeah, I'm glad we're seeing this again. I wanted to revisit this trailer because there's some really cool, I like this guy. Yeah. Really cool monster there.
Yeah, well,
I'm on board.
We'll keep that secret a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, there's one more little tag at the end of it. So your sequel, Will of the Wisps, is coming out in 2019.
Yes.
You don't have a date for us yet.
No, we don't. We really just want to focus on making the absolute perfect experience, right? And, you know, these things take a little while. So, yeah, it's coming out in 2019. I hope people are really, really excited about it.
If I can give you one piece of advice, maybe avoid February 22nd. Because there's already plenty of games coming out on that day. Any other day, 2019 works for me, though.
Yeah, okay, that's
cool. Thomas, thank you so much for coming by the show.
Absolutely.
All right, quick break. But when we come back, Aaron Greenberg will be breaking down everything we know. Stick around.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks.
Welcome to IGN Live E3 2018, your front row seat to the big show. I'm here with Xbox Games marketing director Aaron Greenberg to talk about a couple of huge reveals coming out of the Xbox conference earlier today. Welcome to the IGN stage.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Congratulations on your briefing. I think it was a really good show this year. I hope you
Thanks.
feel...
We were all out of breath.
Yeah,
I mean, we were exhausted.
You just had game after game after game after game. A good mix of stuff.
Yeah.
Big, like first-party stuff, stuff from Japanese developers, smaller indie games. Like that's what I want to see from a big conference. A good mix, a diverse library, right?
Yeah, I mean, that is our intention. We know that, you know, our gamers want a great variety of content from creators all over the world, big and small, and we try to bring that to life in our briefing. We actually had our biggest briefing ever, because we had over 50 games.
Right.
We had over 18 of them had some sort of exclusivity.
Right.
16 world premieres and even 14 new games that came to Game Pass. So
it was
pretty big numbers.
So let's start talking about, I know we've seen some B-roll from the conference here. What about that Halo premiere, the Halo reveal, Halo Infinite?
Yes, what a way to start the show. A lot of people were kind of buzzing, wondering if we were going to announce a new Halo. We're excited to announce Infinite. We showed an in-engine demonstration. New engine, Slipspace engine, the team's been working hard on. And it's the next new chapter in the Halo saga. And the team is taking a bigger, bolder approach and a story that's going to focus on Chief. And so you've got a new engine, you've got the team working hard, and we're excited to unveil Halo Infinite and give people a little sneak look at how we're thinking about the direction and show some of the tech as well.
I liked the way you set up this trailer. You know, people weren't sure exactly what it was till you see Chief's helmet, of course.
I will say, in the marketing business, that is one of our favorite things is to capture your attention, imagination, and I think people love to be surprised. And so to be able to see a little bit and start to wonder and build your curiosity, and then at that moment, when you see Chief's helmet and you hear the signature Halo sound, I mean, you get goosebumps.
I mean, people cheered here at the IGN studio.
Nice.
So
I was sitting with the fans, and they were screaming.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. I mean, you want that. You want that for a Halo reveal.
For sure.
And so I think the team delivered and did a great job on that.
So even though it's not Halo 6, Halo Infinite, but it is continuing the story.
Correct.
From wherever.
It's, at this point, we're not trying to say too much except that it's a story that will feature Chief. And I think the idea is you get a sense of that it's not called 6, it is called Infinite. That's very deliberate. And the team has a really big, bold vision for what they want to do with this product and are working quite hard on it. And I know everyone was waiting for a new Halo. I listen to podcasts Unlocked every week, by the way. So I hear from Ryan and Alana and the rest of the team. And so it's here. And you get a sense of, how big this ambition is. And you kind of see the ring there at the end and a new name and a new engine. So a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, people are definitely excited that to have a new Halo on the horizon.
Yes. Yes.
And another big first-party reveal was new Gears for Xbox One. Gears 5.
Yes.
We have a question about that. Is that the official title? It's just Gears 5, not Gears of War 5? We were curious about that.
We are calling it Gears 5. The franchise is called Gears of War.
Right.
That's coming in 2019.
Right.
And what's really exciting about this is that this time the story is going to be told through the eyes of Kate Diaz. And so having Kate as the lead, a lot of folks, if you played, like myself, played through the end of Gears 4 and kind of how that ended, it's really great building and picking up where that left off. But again, another example of a team where, and this is kind of speaking to like our investment in our first-party studios and with Microsoft Studios, is not just with the folks we're adding to the team, but with existing studios, allowing them to do bigger, bolder things. So allowing Rod and his team to take some more time and make Gears an even bigger, richer experience, adding some open world elements, adding a more diverse color palette. So you'll see the world looks, it's not just bigger, but it's more vibrant. You'll see a lot of different kind of visual things. And then, of course, a really rich, deep story that the team at Coalition is known for. But we announced not just one Gears game, but 3 Gears games. 3 genres, 3 platforms, kind of purposely built first for those platforms with Gears Pop, with Funko Pop. So sort of Gears in your pocket, and then also Gears Tactics, which is being built as a kind of turn-based strategy tactics title using the Gears universe.
I'm a big Tactics fan, so that sounds really cool.
And the team at Coalition is a huge fan of that, and we've been talking and working with them and watching this project kind of come together. And I thought Rod showed some great footage and some of the big boss battles, and Gears plays really well in that sandbox.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll be interesting to see how fans react.
Yeah, Tactics seems to be like a really good fit for Gears. Like that makes a lot of sense in my mind.
Yep.
But like, what kind of game is Gears Pop on mobile?
So we're not saying too much, except that we're doing this in partnership with Funko. So we're sort of making it a little bit more age appropriate. So Gears has typically been an M-rated title. We're bringing it to iOS and Android. And it will be a game that I think will be really fun and different and unique. But it will not be playing like a Gears FPS game on your mobile phone. It's going to be built specifically as a mobile-first experience, but using the Funko Pop vinyl characters and having a lot of fun with that. And so it's been a really good collaboration. It's coming in 2019, and we think people will like it.
And Gears Tactics, is that also 2019?
Gears Tactics, we haven't given a date on yet. So we said 2019 for Gears 5 and for Gears Pop, and then we had just announced Tactics at this point.
So Gears 5, Gears Pop, Gears Tactics.
Yes.
What happened to the of War? The of War has just been left behind. I'm just curious. Like, is the series just?
Well,
just
it's
Gears
shorthand for what people call it. The franchise is still called Gears of War.
Okay.
But people tend to shorthand it to Gears.
Okay.
And so we're just saving them characters on their Twitter
Saves them
feed.
time. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, that's actually a real. The struggle is real. Fitting stuff into your Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys have also been going shopping.
Yes.
Purchasing up some studios.
Yeah, that was, I think maybe one of my most favorite part of the briefing, because I think anyone saw that coming. But, as Phil talked, we, and under new leadership with Matt Booty running our first-party studios, Microsoft Studios, the team has been, talking to a lot of partners, some of them that we are working with right now, like the team at Undead and Jeff Strain, and what they're doing with, State of K2 is like the #1 game on Xbox right now. And we love working with them. It's been great to see the franchise grow. Bringing them into the family is a great announcement. But then you have folks like Ninja Theory, who Hellblade, such an incredible game and an incredible team. And it's been great getting to know them better and to be able to welcome them to the family and allow them to do also bigger, bolder things as kind of a team. They actually put out a great video. People should really go watch. It's on their Twitter feed, but it's from their vision of like why they think it makes sense, this kind of partnership. And they talked a lot about, hey, we're kind of somewhere in between like an indie developer and a big AAA developer. Right. And we had to set off a bunch of our teams to kind of do work for hire work so that we could make enough money so that we could actually go make Hellblade. And that was our passion. And we really wanted our independence, and they had a vision around the type of games they want to make. And obviously they're an insanely creative team. And so as becoming part of our family, they're going to have access to a lot more resources that will allow them to really realize their vision. And so we're excited to let them continue to operate an independent mindset and make great games like they do, but help them have the resources so they're not kind of worried about the future of the studio or anything like that.
And then what about the Initiative?
The Initiative is a brand new studio. So we're not just acquiring, but we're also starting new. So Daryl Gallagher is starting a new studio in Santa Monica. We've announced a few.
Crystal Dynamics.
Yes, yeah.
Dynamics,
so a lot of people know him kind of the Tomb Raider reboot.
Exactly, yeah.
And the great work they've done there. He also was an executive with Activision for a while. So he's got a 20-year pedigree in the industry, and he's an amazing leader, creative leader of teams. And adding somebody like that to go create a brand new studio is really quite exciting as well. So we've got some stuff that's like, hey, we're working with some partners that have some things that just launched that are big. I think Compulsion is another, partner that joined. That's got We Happy Few coming out on August 10th, and then even starting new with the Initiative. And then we also announced Playground Games. So we have 5 studio announcements, and Playground, who we've had a long history with the Forza Horizon franchise, and holy crap, Forza Horizon 4 looks great. And I thought team did a great job. Ralph Fulton and team there really showcasing that game. But they're going to continue to work on the Forza Horizon franchise, but also have a second dedicated team working on something else. So we're not talking about that yet, but leveraging a lot of their open world capabilities to go build something new. And just as you see all of these things, you're just seeing more content, bigger teams. In fact, we doubled our creative teams in size with all of these announcements. And you're going to see a lot more games and content coming from our first-party studios, which I think is a great thing for gamers.
And it's no secret. That's what Xbox fans have been hoping for, wanting, right?
Yep.
I'm particularly excited about the Initiative because I was a big fan of the Tomb Raider reboot. I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider looks really cool. That was also part of your show today.
Yep.
Yeah. That was my first sort of look at gameplay in that game. So if they're going to make stuff like that, I'm on board.
Yeah, well, it's under the eyes of the leader who oversaw that project, and you're right. We're excited to be working with the team on the next Tomb Raider. But of course, Daryl is an incredible leader. It's been great just to get to know him a little bit, and already we're just a few of the folks that he's announced that are coming to the team are kind of world class.
Yeah.
So he's going to build a dream team of people in the Santa Monica studio, and I'm really excited that we'll be able to share more about what they're working on when they're ready. But it's fun to start an entirely new studio. Not a lot of companies and teams have the privilege of doing that, and it's one of the things that we're excited to be a part of.
Now, one of the most out of the blue announcements was a new Battletoads.
Yes,
a new Battletoads.
Yes,
you didn't have anything to show yet. Nope. But just the announcement that there is a new Battletoads coming.
Yep.
I mean, I'm an old school gamer.
Okay,
so
I was hoping. I'm glad Marty isn't here because I know he's got nothing but love for Battletoads.
Exactly,
so.
Biggest fan. Biggest fan.
Yes.
I mean, can you I know they said
we did it mostly for Marty. That was what we were
Marty's
thinking.
game. Marty's Battletoads.
We made this for you, Marty, if you're watching.
It's gonna be a 2.5D game.
Yes.
I know you.
Delilah is the studio's partner we're working with. But it's under the eyes of the Rare team. And they have been working, sort of think of this as almost like a publishing arrangement where we work with another partner while the Rare internal team is focused specifically on Sea of Thieves.
Right.
This team is able to bring to life a whole new Battletoads. But exactly. It's 2.5D, and it's true to kind of the original, but modernizing it in some ways. And we haven't said more than just that new Battletoads is coming, and it's fun. It's great. We have a lot of existing IP, and we're really thoughtful about, hey, when does it make sense to take kind of something in the vault and bring it back. And it felt like the right time to do it. And the team has a great concept for how they want to bring Battletoads to life.
Like I was saying, you had a really a healthily diverse lineup of games today. Everything from Terminator, Shadows Die Twice, Horizon, The Division 2 to Battletoads.
Yes.
A new Battletoads, which...
Yeah, and we spend many months putting the show together. We always think about like our fans and what the reaction's going to be. And we think a lot, we see tons and tons of content. We think about the pacing. We think about the ordering. We think about what makes sense to put in, what doesn't. And in many cases, it's an honor because third-party partners also pick us. So you see like the Devil May Cry announcement or, the Division announcement or the Cyberpunk announcement. Like these partners picked our stage to world premiere their games. And that says a lot. And, we have the privilege of also having the world's most powerful consoles. So we know their games will look best on Xbox One X, but it's great to be able to partner with them and surprise the world in our briefing with some of those big announcements as well.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much for coming by the IGN stage today and congrats on a really strong briefing.
Great, thank you.
All right. Just like that, it's time for another break. But if you're an anime fan, we've got something coming up next you aren't going to want to miss. Here's a hint. It's Jump Force. Is that how hints work? Stay tuned.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3. Technically, E3 hasn't even started yet, but there's already a ton going on. In the next hour, we'll be taking a look at We Happy Few and running down everything that EA has shown off. But if you're dying for information right now, go download the IGN app for everything at E3. Everyone's here working very, very hard. There's lots to talk about. Speaking of talking about it, you can also join in the conversation on Twitter, tagging us at IGN and using the hashtag E32018, whether that's to ask questions, tell us which games you're most excited about, or remind me to breathe. There's a lot going on. We might even read your tweet on air, so be careful about punctuation and grammar. Right now, we are joined by Koji Nakajima from Bandai Namco, along with his translator, Mikey Mac, to show off Jump Force. This is a game we've known about for, I don't know, like an hour and a half now or something? You just revealed it? What is this game? Please give us the description.
そうですね。本作は週刊少年ジャンプというそれこそ全世界で人気のあるドラゴンボールとかワンピースとかナルトを生み出した、漫画雑誌の創刊50周年にあたるアニバーサリータイトルです。
So this is featuring, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Shonen Jump. It's, of course, they have franchises like the world famous Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Naruto.
Just a few, yeah.
Yes, just a few. And it's their 50th anniversary. So this game is kind of in celebration of that.
はい。ね、悟空やもう知ってると思うんですけど、ナルトとかルフィのといったスーパーヒーローたちが、一堂に会して、バトルする非常に熱いゲームになってます。
And it is a very hot game. I mean, you take Goku, you take Naruto, and you take Luffy and put them in one place. What do you think is going to happen?
This looks like fan fiction, the game. Like people are this looks like you read the internet's mind and put this into an incredibly realistic game too. They're fighting on Earth, is that right?
地球っていう設定。
そうですね。設定は現実の世界なので、本日お見せしているトレーラーや出展しているロムの方ではニューヨークとマッターホルンのステージを紹介しています。
So yes, this does take place in the world as we know it. So on the show floor, you're going to see stages very familiar, like New York.
Oh my God. Okay, this is quite a lot. Now, obviously, some of these characters have shown up in fighting games before. Naruto and Goku are no stranger to being in fighting games. Mechanically, how would you describe this as a fighting game? It's a 3D brawler.
格闘ゲームとしてはこれどういうふうに説明しますかね。これ 3D のブローラーっていう。
そうですね。本作の特徴は3対3で戦う対戦アクションゲームになります。
So this is going to be more of like a 3-on-3 action fighting game is how I describe it.
Okay, great. Now, obviously, we've got One Piece and we've got Naruto and we've got Dragon Ball and there's a little tease of Death Note at the end there. But with 50 years to draw from, how deep is the roster going to get with the history of Shonen Jump?
そのキャラの選択ですね。50年もあるっていうふうに思うので、これ結構期待できるんじゃないですか。
そうですね。本日公開したキャラクターはほんの一部でしかないので、どんどんこれからいろんな作品のキャラクターを紹介していくので、ぜひ続報を楽しみにしてください。
I think we can safely say we've just scratched the surface of the iceberg, and there's going to be a lot of news to come. So please stay tuned and stay excited.
I'm very excited about this. I want to just read down. Can I throw a few your way? Can I ask you a few?
いくつか投げてみていいですか？
はい。
Okay. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
No comment.
My Hero Academia.
No comment.
Oh man, playing hardball with this. Okay, so I've got to ask, why are they fighting? This is clearly there's going to be a reason for it, but can you give us a little insight to the story?
ちょっとストーリーの表面でもいいんですけど、なぜこういうキャラクターたちが戦っているんですか、現実世界で。
そうですね。本作の世界観なんですけれども、実際の現実の世界とジャンプの世界が融合してしまった世界観の中で、その強大な敵にルフィやナルトや悟空といったスーパーヒーローたちが立ち向かっていくというような世界観になります。
So the world setting here is somehow these worlds and universes of all these franchises and our world get merged into one space, and there's going to be a sort of villain, a big bad villain who they're all going to join forces against and defeat, hopefully.
そこにデスノート、今日発表したデスノートのようなちょっとミステリアスなポジションでお話に絡んでくるというところで、まだ詳細はお伝えできないんですけども、ぜひ単なる対戦アクションではなくて、ちゃんとストーリーも楽しめるように今回作っています。
And of course, the plot thickens when we get a little tease of Death Note there at the end. They're going to be involved in the storyline in some form or another, which I can't go into too much detail today. But there is going to be a very comprehensive story mode to this game.
Okay. Now, obviously, these are characters who have, varying degrees of superpowers. How did you go about sort of balancing the different abilities? Because we've got Frieza and Goku here who have a habit of blowing up planets here and there.
さまざまな力量のキャラクターを一つの場所に融合するっていう、例えばフリーザとか悟空は惑星ごと破壊できるけど、それのバランスの取り方というか。
そうですね。そこはすごく難しくて今も努力しているポイントになります。
Well, that is actually a big challenge for us, even as we are developing the game currently.
ただ、本作は対戦アクションゲームなので、すごく理不尽な感じを感じてしまうようなことはなくてですね、きちんとゲームの中でバランスを取った上で、アクションの演出とか必殺技の性能といったところでキャラの個性を再現しています。
And of course, this being a fighting game, if it's unbalanced, it's going to completely ruin the experience for some players who like a certain character or a certain franchise. So we are paying very close attention to that to make sure everything is somewhat compatible across universes, and we focus on the action and the performance and the delivery.
Okay. Now the environments are incredibly detailed. How destructible do they get?
環境はどれくらい破壊可能なんですか？すごい綺麗ですけど。
そうですね。今回やはり超人たちのスーパーヒーローたちのバトルというところに力を入れているので、かなり大掛かりな破壊を入れてます。細かい例えば樽を壊すみたいな細かいものではなくて、それこそビルごと倒れるとか、もうフィールドが変わるみたいな破壊をしっかりと演出していこうと思っているので、ぜひ楽しみにしてください。
Well, we are dealing with a game where superheroes are omnipresent, so I think you can kind of imagine we're not just going to be knocking over benches or lampposts. There's going to be buildings going down, so it's going to be a lot to see there.
All right. Now, obviously, you've imagined grown up with Shonen Jump. It's probably been around your whole life, yeah?
まあ多分少年ジャンプと一緒に育ったっていう過言ではない。
そうです。Yes.
That's correct.
Now, without confirming or denying any characters for the roster, is there a personal favorite from the long line of Shonen Jump characters?
まあ誰かとピンポイントまでは言えなくていいんですけど、個人的にこれは絶対に入れたかったっていうキャラクターはこう実現されてるんでしょうか？
もちろんです。
Of course.
なので僕が今回一番好きだったキャラクターはまだ発表してないキャラクターなので、ぜひ皆さん楽しみにしておいて。
And that character is still unannounced, so it is my personal favorite that I'm glad to be able to put into this game.
Okay. Oh man, this is so tough because there's obviously I want to ask questions about. I'm sure there are going to be characters in this game that maybe haven't shown up in games before.
おそらくこのゲームで、このゲーム化されていないようなキャラクターも、初ゲームデビューするようなキャラクターもいるんですかね。
Yes.
Yes. I really I want to know, if you're gonna, I don't know, if you're gonna throw Prince of Tennis or Food Wars in there, it would be interesting to see how they adapt to be in a fighting game.
すごいテニスの王子様とか入れたらもうね、ゲームとして成り立つのか。
そうですね。なかなかやはりバトルのゲームなので、テニスの王子様のようなスポーツの作品は難しいんですけども、基本ヒーロー、今回はヒーローたちが集結して戦うゲームですので、ヒーローたちはたくさん用意しています。
So I think it would be quite a stretch to have a Prince of Tennis join the roster in a fighting game like this one. But the key word here is going to be heroes. So I mean, look at the roster that Jump has and match it with hero and kind of let your imagination go wild.
Okay. And is this going to be coming to PS4 and Xbox One?
PS4, Xbox One,
and PC.
And PC. Are there any plans for enhancements for the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X?
PS4 Pro と Xbox One X に対するさらなる進化というかはある予定されています。
はい、予定しています。ただ今現在ゲームの開発をしておりまして、できるだけパフォーマンスを高めて皆さんに美しいバトルっていうのを楽しんでいただけるように今開発スタッフと一緒に頑張ってます。
Yes, we can look forward to some specific improvements, but right now we're really just getting the foundation of the game together. So performance is a big key for us in development.
All right, and the big question that I'm sure everyone's asking is, will it be available on Switch? Are there any plans for that down the road?
スイッチの予定は多分聞かれるって。
そうですね。もう本当に正直にお話しすると、今のところPS4 と Xbox と PC をで今精一杯というところではあります。
So I mean, completely off the record and full disclosure here, we're kind of at our bandwidth with the PS4, PC, and Xbox versions at the moment.
But stranger things have happened. Now, obviously, you're just showing off the very beginning of this, just a few characters. When can people expect to find out more about this game?
今本当にその序の口というか小さい情報しかまだないんですけど、次の情報の開幕はいつ頃期待できるんですか？
そうですね。そんなにお待たせすることなくいろんな情報をお伝えできると思ってますので、ぜひ楽しみにしててください。
Well, I don't think there is going to be too much of a wait. until our next reveal. So
okay, would it be fair to sort of compare this? You announced Dragon Ball Fighters on the same stage. I believe that was only last year. Would this sort of timeline for that be a good thing to look at in terms of when to expect this?
まあファイターズも去年の同じような頃に多分発表されたんで、まあそのタイムラインをちょっとこう参考にして考えるべきなのかと。
そうですね。ただ。なんか明確にお答えすることはできないんですが、やはり今回発表させていただいてすごい反響いただいているので、やっぱりそのお客様をお待たせする、ちょっと熱量下がっちゃうと思うので、その熱量のままどんどん新しい情報っていうのを皆さんにお知らせしたいと考えています。
Well, of course, we are being very mindful of the community and the fans' reaction. And judging from how everyone responded at the conference you just saw, I think it's safe to say that people are really hungry. So, of course, we are listening to that as we decide our marketing roadmap.
Great. Well, we're all dying to hear more. Is there any one last thing you want to add here before we wrap this up?
最後に何かコメントとまとめの。
そうですね。やはり、僕今回このゲームが実現したというところは、やはり日本にあるこの週刊少年ジャンプがアニバーサリーイヤーっていうところでもあるので、ぜひこのゲームを通して皆さんに日本にすごいこう漫画雑誌であるジャンプがあるんだっていうところを知ってもらいたいですし、今までにない現実と作品世界が融合した表現っていうところを今回売りにしているので、リアルに表現されたカメハメハとか、リアルに表現された螺旋丸、もしくはキャラクターであるとルフィとかっていうのはぜひ皆さん見てほしいなと、楽しみにしてほしいなと思ってます。
So I am still kind of at awe that this game came to fruition myself, but having said that, I think it's one of the first times the Jump universe and reality have merged in the way that they did. So I think one thing to pay attention and close note of is the sort of form of expression of these characters and how we kind of translated them into a more realistic version of themselves. So just try to think of, you know, realistic Kamehameha and how that might look, or just Luffy in a more realistic form.
Awesome. Well, this is very exciting. I'm dying to know more about Jump Force. I want to see this full roster. It looks insane. There's so much more to come, but right now we've got to take a break. When we get back, let's get weird with We Happy Few, and later on we will reveal our picks for Game of the Show Day 2 at E3 2018.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks. Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
We know why you watch IGN Live at E3. It's for sneak peeks at all of the new games, and we've got a real gem for you right now. It's time to check out We Happy Few. Let's welcome Guillaume and Sam to show it off. Now, first things first, I did want to ask you guys, the acquisition of your studio just got announced at the Microsoft press conference. How are you feeling about that?
Pretty good. You rarely get the chance to become part of a family and make games at that level of caliber. So for us, for the next few years, it's going to be really exciting to work with Xbox and Microsoft.
I'm sure you guys will get a lot of financial support from the studio to be able to keep working on awesome stuff in the future as well. So definitely excited to hear more about that as we go down that road. But we're here to talk about We Happy Few. I already love this game, but for people who don't know much about it, what's the elevator pitch? What is We Happy Few all about?
Well, it's a 1960s dystopian world where everybody's high on this drug called joy, and you, the player, are trying to escape. So that was the premise that we showed at E3 2016 2 years ago. And this year we're talking a little bit about the evolution of the game and the story that unfolds within that world.
So what is that story?
So there's 3 characters. Sam, do you want to jump in?
So there's 3 characters, and the story isn't really what you think it might be. I think the story is best characterized as saying it's not about a guy with a special destiny. There's no special powers. There's nothing really about these people. They're just 3 ordinary people stuck in a very strange, very uncomfortable world that is on the brink of collapse. And it's about how those characters respond to all the really messed up situations that they find themselves in.
So part of it, from my understanding playing it, is basically that if people aren't on the drug joy, they see what the world is really like. And that's where they see that it's kind of horrific. But if they are on the drug, everything seems perfect to them. That's correct, right?
That's correct. In fact, if you're on the joy and high on the drug and you hit people, you'll see butterflies and flowers instead of blood. We changed all the audioscape to match that as well. But it was really, on the intent of creating a world that was interesting to the players. We wanted to tackle that topic, allow the player to experience what the citizens of the world are experiencing while being on the drug, but also having a very clear message to the player about what the short-term impacts are and what the maybe more negative term, mid-term impacts are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when it comes to needing to even take the drug, can you talk a little bit about how the world got so messed up and what the actual sort of apocalypse that's happened is?
So it's a story that's largely about denial, right? So it's about an event happened in the past that really the citizens of Wellington Wells just refused to deal with. And their whole society is built around saying, I don't want to relive that. I don't want to think about it. All I want to do is forget. And you know what? It's a real simple thing to just take a little pill and have a happy day, as opposed to confront the reality that's well, it's quite grim.
Yeah. So there's 3 characters that we play through in the game. They all have things that they need to face during their playthroughs. The playthroughs are also intertwined, so you do get to see similar things or similar events from the perspective of different characters. That's about as much as I'm willing to spoil.
I'm so curious, though. So it is 3 separate playthroughs. Are you allowed to play them out of order, or do they have to be played like one character next to the other?
No, it's sequential. So it's sequential, and you learn more about the other characters as you play the additional characters.
So the game has evolved a lot since I first played it, which was on Xbox Preview, where everything was procedurally generated, which I still really, really enjoyed. Does it still have that as an element?
Yeah, it does. Obviously, we had to do a lot of handcrafting in certain areas to make sure that the player experience was really solid, and that's something that we've done. So the game is built in a structure now where there's some more linear, handcrafted areas that really help dispel the actual story in the way that we wanted the player to experience it, but they're connected by procedural worlds, procedural areas that are randomly generated when we create the world. So we kept the actual seed of it, but it was a difficult marriage to accomplish, but I think I'm pretty proud of the end result.
I actually struggled to think of another game that's done that, like a procedurally generated world as well as some linear components. I imagine that is a really difficult thing to develop. Why did you guys decide to do that? It sounds hard.
It is. It's weird.
Yeah.
Happy Few is a combination of elements that you've probably never seen before, and procedural and story is one of them. And we'd always planned a type of story right from the beginning of the game, but when we launched in Xbox Game Preview, and we saw the fairly incredible response to wanting more and more story, we thought, okay, well, we've really got to up our game. We've got to increase the level of quality and immersion that we're creating. And that's pretty much what we did. And it is difficult, but at the same time, it's worked. So you have these linear moments all throughout the game, and while the bits in between them slightly change, ultimately the story itself remains consistent.
Do you think that that'll probably give it an added level of replayability?
No, I wouldn't call replayability to be strong on that front on the initial release of the game, because what we shipped on the game preview was really a sandbox experience that helped player understand the mechanics of the world. We may expand on that post-release, but we were really concentrated in the last 2 years to just deliver story, because that's what everyone told us they wanted to see, and that's what we were really passionate about delivering.
Very nice of you.
Yeah.
Good job. Is there any side characters you can talk about that you particularly loved? I know when I was playing, I chased down a guy who just run really fast. I don't know what his name was.
Eric Little, or as we call him, Crazy Legs.
Crazy Legs, that's it. I had a lot of fun just tracking that guy down. I found his voice acting and his style of animation really interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the weird things we might come across while exploring the world?
Yeah, there's quite a few characters that you'll meet and you'll see different perspectives of across the 3 playthroughs. Crazy Legs being one of them. You'll see him again in a later playthrough, and his story is slightly different. But we've got a range.
Does he still have crazy legs?
He's struggling a bit more in the later sections, but no, you can only run so fast for so long. But yeah, you've got a range of great little characters. Johnny Bolton, the crazy treehouse shopkeeper who thinks the whole world is a conspiracy and out to get him. He's been pretty popular. We like him. We have a pretty good cast of supporting crazy characters.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting is the moments where you meet the other playable characters and the relationships that you see from both sides.
We also, one thing that's always been really important at the studio, and we grew from, I think we were about 15 when we showed the game for the first time 2 years ago. We're about 40 now, so we put a lot more people onto the team, and a lot of the effort that's been done is in not just crafting dialogue between specific characters, and obviously at E3 this year we showed cutscenes, but the playable demo that we have during the showcase really kind of showcases the narrative elements that we've put throughout the world to help kind of give clues as to the history of the world and what's happened in the world. And that's something that we've spent quite a bit of time crafting, both in the procedural sections and in the kind of more linear story-driven sections.
Can you tell me a little bit about these 3 characters, what their names are and who they are?
Yeah, so most people are fairly familiar with Arthur, the first character. He's the sort of the British everyman. He's fairly polite, quite awkward, but otherwise he's
charming.
Yeah, he's charming and he's a bit of an all-rounder. We have Sally, who you can see very briefly in the trailer that we just revealed as well, talking to Arthur, and she's actually a celebrity in town. Interesting. And she is an expert drug crafter. Some may call her by different types of names. And then you have Ollie, who is, we've described him as the mad Scotsman. And he's the man that's very much out of time, out of place, who sees the world. But he's really not all there. And so that's quite a fun thing to experience.
And how do these stories, you probably can't answer, I was going to say how do they overlap, but that would be giving too much away, wouldn't it?
No.
Are you guys trying to avoid even sharing any of that information up until launch, or are we going to find out a little bit more as we go along?
We might. It's very difficult because the stories themselves, as soon as we start talking about them, we reveal things that we really want you to reveal. You want to discover yourself, absolutely. So we're trying as much as talking about setting the stage. Yeah. But in terms of those stories, I think we'd rather people find out.
It was, so the trailer that we showed today, the purpose was to say, hey, there's a story and it's coming soon. That was really the message we were trying to do. Cutting that trailer without revealing, spoiling anything was a very heated debate within the team.
There's so much stuff like that that goes into game development that people don't think about, like how difficult it is to put a trailer together without spoiling things so everyone is excited. Like, I totally respect that. It was a good trailer. How has the reaction been if you've seen it? It was just right hot off that very recently.
I literally don't.
You have no idea?
My phone's been buzzing by too much for me to keep up.
Well, that seems good. You guys nervous going into a conference like that? Knowing that reveal is going to be there?
People are always nervous. When you show your work, we work really, really hard on the game. So when you show your work and you know that it's going to be shown, you're always nervous at what people's reactions are going to be. But I think the story's good. So I hope that doesn't sound pretentious, but I'm quite proud of it, of what we've built, and I'm way more curious to see what people's reactions at launch will be.
How many writers have you had working on it?
Ooh, well, we've had Alex, our narrative director. So he's been with us for 4.5 years, right from the beginning. And then actually the only other writer on the project is his wife, Lisa.
Oh, that's cool.
They're a husband and wife writing team. And they've done really just an incredible job.
I'm already so excited about it. Can I ask, what are the things that the two of you are most excited about for the game? Or what's your favorite thing about it? Putting you on the spot here.
Okay. I think we touch on very serious and current topics in the game, and I think we do it in a tasteful way. And I think there's not a lot of games that operate in that space, and that excites me that we can make a game that sparks dialogue while weaving an interesting story for the player to experience. And that's maybe one of the areas I'm really excited about in kind of understanding how people see the game, what they take away from the experience of having played it.
How about you, Sam?
For me, I think we've had one of the best jobs in the world in the last 4 years because we've watched a team come together every Friday and show what they've done. And there hasn't been a single meeting where I haven't laughed, maybe cringed a little bit occasionally, but mostly it was just really just outstanding. And watching people experience those moments that we've seen, I think is going to be the thing I'm most excited about.
I can't wait to do it myself. I really love the style of this game, and I think a lot of people that I've seen seem really excited about it as well. So congrats, and thank you guys so much for joining us on the live show today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Time for a break, but don't go anywhere. IGN is coming back with an inside look at all the secrets EA revealed at their press conference right after this.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With a floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Welcome back. This is IGN Live at E3 2018. We've been talking a lot of Xbox news, but yesterday belonged to EA. Here's a look at all the highlights from the EA press conference. Check it out.
Welcome everybody to EA Play.
It's Royale.
The UEFA Champions League is an amazing addition for the game.
So I'm pleased to announce that for a limited time, FIFA 18 complete with the entire World Cup experience, you can download and play the entire game right now for free. Yeah.
Today, we're announcing Origin Access Premiere, playing games anywhere, anytime.
So the Star Wars name is Jedi Fallen Order.
So does that mean I get to like hold a lightsaber?
Yes.
So I think people are now anxiously want to know like when can we play the game?
It will be holiday of next year, 2019, not this year.
So sorry to dash any hopes.
So I'm excited to confirm that Battlefront 2 this year will be going deep into the Clone Wars.
When things are at their darkest, you find hope. So welcome to Unravel 2.
You'll be able to take these two Yarnies on their next big adventure starting today. The game is finished, it's out. So please welcome Connie Gepper to the stage from Joe My Games to tell you more about Sea of Solitude.
Thank you, Patrick. Let me tell you more about our game. When humans get too lonely, they turn into monsters. This is at the core of everything you will see, hear, and hopefully feel while playing.
And this is my squad.
That belt is so amazing. There's a lot of, bling on that belt for you.
Where's it gonna go? Is he gonna be able to get it off?
He's got it back.
There it is!
Gonna take it. Defeating Nick
That
right
was
here.
legit.
It wants to destroy us all.
comes out February 22nd, 2019.
So mark your calendars, everybody. Fire off your tweets. Thank you so much again to Casey and the entire BioWare team. I know you guys have that awesome theater outside, so I will see you guys there.
All right, let's welcome Sydney and Rory for their thoughts on EA. Guys, how'd you think EA did this year? If the purpose of an E3 press conference is to get gamers excited about your upcoming games, did EA succeed?
So I was actually down there at EA Play when they announced a lot of these titles. And I think it's one thing to be in the room when they are announced because you have that energy of the whole crowd getting behind it.
Sure.
It definitely was exciting. I think there was a couple titles in particular that really got the crowd going, especially Anthem, obviously, because people have been looking forward to that one for a while. And it was the first time we've actually seen some gameplay and got a lot of details about the game. Battlefield as well was really cool, and Battlefront as well.
Yeah, updates on Battlefront. Yeah, we'll talk about Anthem in depth in just a little bit. You mentioned Battlefront. There was another Star Wars announcement at the show, which is it's exciting to me as a big Star Wars fan and a big fan of Respawn's work. Yes. But the announcement itself was definitely one of the more awkward Star Wars game reveals.
It was so
of the show.
You have these conferences where you have this opportunity to announce like a huge IP or something, because we just had Microsoft's conference, and it's things like, you know, these amazing high-cut trailers, and then a big boom, and you see the logo, and this was kind of like, yeah, there's a new game coming out. And it's like a whisper into just...
But they gave us the title.
They did.
Jedi Fallen Order. They gave us a time period within the Star Wars universe. Like, that's cool, but like, I don't know, was that the best way to do it? Sydney, you were saying like...
I was saying... I don't know. I feel like I don't know that there was any other way to do it. If they didn't have anything to show, and they would have like waltzed out on the stage and been like, "Hey guys, this cool thing's coming," and then just walked off, I probably would have been like, "Oh my gosh! Like, what is this?"
I got a good one. Okay. It's a black screen. All right, all the lights go down. Black screen. Someone turns on a lightsaber at the side, and the red lightsaber illuminates the new title.
That's all you need
blown
to do.
away.
That's all you need.
Crying.
Okay.
Battletoads got a more polished reveal than the new Star Wars game. Battletoads at the Microsoft conference. At least they had some like text and a logo and like a release window.
I mean, I can respect getting creative with your reveal. I'll just say that. You know, try something new. Maybe it didn't work. Maybe don't do that ever again. I don't know. Just a thought.
There was an attempt. I am actually excited about Respawn's Star Wars game. I'm glad to know something about it coming next year.
Yeah.
What about Battlefield 5? I was a little shocked at how little they showed and talked about Battlefield 5.
Yeah, so Battlefield 5 was actually one of the games at EA Play where you could kind of just show up and have your own hands-on. You could like play through Grand Operations. Is that the new mode that they have? Yeah. It was essentially the one that I played. It was really cool. It was fighting in Norway, this big kind of capture and defend map that took place over the spawn of 2 whole days. Now, one of the things that was kind of weird about it was I was on the defending side, and at the start of the defense, you all had hammers, and almost like Rainbow Six Siege style, you had to build up your defenses. So it was like building up turrets, building up walls, you know, getting ready for the onslaught of the British forces. They're going to be storming across. So it was cool in that respect that you can kind of forge your own bases before the fight happens. But in terms of gameplay, without being too dramatic, I haven't had that much fun playing one of those games in a long time.
That's good to hear.
It was great. I do have a question. Did you play have you played the most recent Call of Duty? Because they had War Mode.
Yeah.
World War II?
World War II, yes. And they had War Mode, and it sounds sort of similar to what you're talking about. Would you say it is similar?
I have not played War Mode.
Okay.
So I cannot answer.
Scrap the question.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds sort of similar, so maybe the comments or the chat can sound off on their thoughts on that.
And then what about Anthem? We finally got our full big look at Anthem. How's that sitting with you guys?
It was cool. When we went to EA Play, there was a big line for the Anthem little cordoned off area. So we waited and we got in, and I was like, I am ready to pop off. I'm going storm. I'm gonna blast everyone down like a space wizard.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got in, they were like, "We hope you enjoy this presentation." And I was like, "Damn it!" I was like, I waited for like half an hour for this.
Yeah.
But it was cool. What we got to see was essentially the entire mission that we got a glimpse of in the trailer. So, you know, fighting that big beast, going through, looking at all the artifacts and things like that. We also got a bigger glimpse at how these kind of classes work together, which is really cool. So throughout your mission, you have opportunities for, let's say, the person playing as the Storm class to throw down grenades that freeze all your enemies, and then the Colossus or Colossal nukes them with his backpack, and you get combo points and things like that. It's cool. It's so satisfying, isn't it? Just seeing that yellow combo popping up everywhere. So it was cool seeing a little bit more of how that game plays out. And I'm a big Destiny fan. So.
Okay, so I was just going to ask, I'm a really big Destiny fan as well. And I found it really interesting that you can change Javelins is what your classes are called, right? So you don't have to stick with whatever you chose. Similar to Destiny, you know, you choose a Warlock, Hunter, Titan. And in Anthem, you can actually just change it if you get tired of it.
On the fly, which was actually one of the cooler things they did, because in this mission, we had 2 of the tanks loading out and a Storm. So, you know, if there's even variety between the classes. So there were 2 tanks on the mission that we saw, but they even made a point to say that one of the tanks was focused and had a build specifically designed for close combat. So he had like a flamethrower and some melee attacks, whereas the other tank had missiles and some long-range weapons. So it seems like there's a lot of variety even within the same class, which is cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
You mentioned Destiny. It's giving you Destiny vibes, because that's like a negative for a lot of people.
I would say so. I think it's given me Destiny vibes in a lot of simple ways. Little things like, you know, that satisfying number count when you're like shooting at enemies, seeing the yellow for crits and things like that. Kind of the setting, going across this world. During the mission, we saw kind of like scanning little glowing rocks and things for details about the world. So I think in that regards, it's giving me a lot of Destiny feels. But I don't know. I think there's so much variety between your weapons and your abilities. It's going to be a different game.
All right, well, obviously, Anthem is one of the biggest games from the EA press conference yesterday. Let's take an exclusive look at how it all came together.
Anthem, really at the highest level, is about the fantasy of being an armored hero in an amazing, mysterious world. And we're designing the world to be so dangerous that it requires you to wear these power suits that give you superhuman ability.
Anthem is a world without mass production. We've discussed it as a world without microchips. Each javelin is a piece of handcrafted technology. But you are still not your javelin, you are a pilot. So what that means is that you can get into different javelins and play different roles depending on your needs, your desires, the people that you're playing with.
So on one side we have the Colossus. The Colossus is a heavy hitter. The Colossus is supposed to take damage. The Colossus is the tank. Then we've got the Ranger. The Ranger is more of your multi-class. The Ranger's fairly nimble, fairly agile, but can also pack a punch. We've also got the Storm. The Storm is more of a magic user. It's very powerful, very glass cannon-y. You'll be able to dish out a lot of damage, but you won't be able to take it.
You are leveling up your pilot, so your pilot is getting better at flying javelins, but then the really deep, long-term, meaty part of progression is the javelin itself.
It's not just what you traverse over land. It's that you might fly over something, but under that are many cliffs and caves, and then there's a lake down below, and under that are caverns. And the sense of that verticality and the density of exploration, it feels great.
That would be a Titan. This is bad.
So some of your technology is based upon bits of this Shaper technology, but really humanity doesn't understand how this works. If you imagine that a construction site that was abandoned, and there are bulldozers scattered around that are turning themselves on and wandering around the construction site periodically. They're machines of construction, but if they're just random, they're not really doing helpful things. So as a freelancer, your job is to go and interact with these machines and try to shut them down so they can't do too much harm. This is technology that is millennia beyond what humans understand. So when you're out in the world, you see these big machines, and periodically these turn on and interact with the world in relatively unpredictable ways, causing mutations and storms and other cataclysms that reshape and change the world in very large, explosive ways.
Each freelancer group has a crew. and each crew has multiple roles on it. Your crew in particular has a Strider pilot. A Strider is your remote base. It's your mobile base. It's for you and your team to basically get out into the open world, resupply, rearm, and get back into the adventure.
You are more like a fire jumper. You go out into the world to deal with very acute threats that you can deal with out in the world and serve as protectors, but in very specific, pointed ways.
We have the Scar. They have a tie back to the Shapers, but we don't necessarily want to go there yet. You certainly learn about it in the story.
There's another human faction called Dominion, which serves as the primary antagonist over the core story of Anthem.
We are consistent in what we see regarding the time of day, regarding the weather, unique and individual events and Shaper storms. You will see exactly what I see. So we can talk about it tomorrow, and you can say what you did during the storm, and I can say what I did during the storm. Now, whenever you go on an expedition with your friends, you have a dedicated server. So when we want to do an event, for example, we can send out an event, and all the different people across all the different servers will see that event. We have total control over that.
All right, let's do this.
See you on the other side.
Fort Tarsus is the place where you can learn about characters, you can talk to different people, you can form relationships with them, you can understand their motivations, learn more about the world. So that is what you do in Tarsus, and that is not shared with any of your other friends. That also gives us the opportunity to make sure that we have consistency in choices and consequence, and we can show that in Tarsus.
We've been working on this for many years, so we're very excited to get it out into the hands of fans and players. At BioWare, we create worlds of adventure, conflict, and companionship that inspire you to be the hero of your own story.
It's break time, but next we're going to be checking out some of the biggest rumors coming out of E3 and reveal our picks for Day 2's Game of the Show watch. So don't go anywhere.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks. Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
It's the Video Game Super Bowl, and IGN Live at E3 2018 is right in the middle of it. We've got a jam-packed show for you this hour. The XCOM-like Mutant Year Zero is coming up next, and later we've got a live demo from Life is Strange developer Dontnod. And if you still need more, download the IGN app. It's got all the hot news coming out of the show. But first, Rumors are flying at E3 this week. Is Zelda really coming to Xbox? Seems unlikely, but if it does, you heard it here first. To help me break down some of the biggest rumors coming out of E3 2018, here's IGN's Lucy O'Brien and Max Scoville.
That's not a rumor.
I'm
made that
just
up.
saying.
I think it should be a rumor.
I think they would have probably had that on the Microsoft stage if they were going to do that.
Let's jump to a Nintendo rumor. Nintendo's show will be bright and early on Tuesday morning, and this one seems very likely. Fortnite coming to Switch.
I mean, I think it's a total no-brainer. It's not exactly like, it doesn't really strike me as a Nintendo-style game, but it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous.
It is everywhere,
Fortnite is taking over the world.
Yeah.
It was leaked on the Nintendo store. It's a no-brainer. It's definitely happening.
Yeah, I know one of the hangups for getting games on Switch is obviously it's not quite as powerful hardware as the other consoles, but I mean if you got Fortnite running on a phone, it shouldn't be an issue.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's cool, it's welcome on Switch, but I don't think Fortnite on Switch is going to sell consoles.
No,
for Nintendo.
I don't even
Kids
think
can play it on their phone.
Exactly. I don't even think it's going to be a huge part of their demonstration. I think it's just going to be like a brief little segment.
Yeah, probably, you're right. But another Nintendo rumor we're hearing is this Star Fox racing game from Retro Studios. This leak happened actually a couple months ago, I think. And we're seeing an older Star Fox game here. But if this is true, what do you guys think about a Star Fox racing game?
I mean, I would really like a Star Fox racing game. Yeah? I think that would be super fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious because I feel like Mario Kart Deluxe obviously has knocked it out of the park as far as racing games go, and I'd be interested to see what exactly this would be doing differently that would set it apart. And how much. Star Fox is in a weird spot. Like that last game, I feel like was underwhelming.
Star Fox Zero.
Yeah. And obviously people love that character, but it's sort of it's one of the at this point kind of like lower tier. Nintendo properties, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like maybe Nintendo doesn't know what to do with Star Fox, because the original Star Fox on Super Nintendo was like super impressive for the time, but it's an on-rail shooter, which is a little bit of a dated genre. They experimented with it like Star Fox Adventures. If you remember that on GameCube, where
Which
he
that started out as something else entirely.
Like Dinosaur Planet, I think.
It needs to be Star Fox.
Yeah, but then they tried with Star Fox Zero here on Wii U, and that didn't exactly make a huge splash. So I feel like it's a property that Nintendo fans love, but Nintendo doesn't really know what to do with it.
So stick them in the racing game.
So give them the Retro Studios, which is they did like Rogue Squadron back in the day. They just recently did the Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch. Really talented studio. Maybe they can make that work. Actually, the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of with Lucy. I think a Star Fox racing game could be really cool because there's supposed to be actually like shooting aspects into it too. With enemies en route, you shoot them to get a speed boost.
Okay,
race against.
That's a fun idea. Yeah. I mean, there's I would think of what is it? Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. Yeah, had kind of that feel to it, which I
for sure
could be into. Again, I'm wary of an entirely Star Fox roster. Gotta get Roy Cooper in there or something.
Well, there's the fox and the frog and the rabbit.
The frog has an uncle, I think, too. Yeah.
Classic character, the frog's uncle.
Let's talk about
his own game. I don't know.
Let's talk about a Ubisoft rumor that I really hope is true. Is Splinter Cell coming back this year?
I mean, again, I think this is a no-brainer because this was leaked in that massive, what was it, like Walmart Canada?
Yep.
Did that massive leak?
Leaked all of E3.
And everything so far from that leak has proven to be correct, right up to the latest Just Cause that was just announced. So I think that it's an absolute no-brainer.
What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I'd be down for it. I feel like I honestly could barely keep track of all the Tom Clancy games that come out. Splinter Cell is obviously a huge one. The last one was what, 2013?
It's been a minute.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel like that one was kind of touching on that. It was like more wide linear, but not full blown open world. But it'd be kind of cool to see if they do the open world approach, which they've been doing with every other game.
I love the Splinter Cell series. I love stealth games, so I would really be happy if this proved to be true. And it seems like maybe Ubisoft is laying the groundwork because they brought Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell, put him into Ghost Recon Wildlands just a couple months ago. So it's like that's a little random. They even have the original voice actor playing him, so it seems like maybe they're priming us for the return of Splinter Cell.
Oh, definitely. I think this is going to be like the big ticket at Ubisoft's conference this year for sure.
All right, here's a crazier rumor. What's Rocksteady been up to since Batman Arkham Knight, and are they making a Justice League game? There's a leaked poster, supposedly.
Justice League?
Yeah, with Superman. And then I forget exactly what the text is. I don't know if we have it here, but the text, comic book fans would know it to be a reference to Justice League.
See, I would much prefer it to be a strictly Superman game over a Justice League game.
There you go.
Yeah,
we're seeing Arkham Knight right here.
I mean, I know we're talking about rumors, but personally, like, Justice League just isn't as interesting to me as a pure Superman game.
It's also just any problem with team superheroes is that you've got to make all of them play well, you know. And with Batman or Spider-Man, for instance, it's easier to take one character and really refine what makes that work. And I believe that Rocksteady could actually pull that off with Superman, something that no one's been able to do.
Yeah, of course, Justice League is like a hot property in movies right now. So it would make sense that they'd want to make it more of a Justice League game than just a Superman game.
Yeah, and they've already got, like, Batman at least, like, down pat, right?
Exactly, and Batman would be in the game, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge undertaking to, as like Max was saying, like, it's a huge undertaking to get every single one of those characters playing as fluidly as they got Batman. To play.
They got Batman.
But if anyone can do it, it is Rocksteady.
Yeah. Of course, the Microsoft conference is already over, so the place for this to happen would be Sony tomorrow night. Sony's already said they're bringing Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding. So if anything, it would just be like, oh, and one more thing. Like a little teaser at the end of their conference.
Yeah, I don't see them being like, hey, we're bringing this huge first-party Marvel game. Also, here's a DC game.
Yeah. All right, well, let's check in with Twitter. See what rumors you all hope become a reality this E3. Looks like the Xbox briefing left hunters Karo Ju with an empty feeling. They said, ooh, Perfect Dark and Banjo's 20th anniversary. Is it too late? What, this year is the anniversary? I don't remember. 98 for both those games? That seems early.
Yeah.
That seems early. I would absolutely love a new Perfect Dark game.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if that's true or not, but obviously Microsoft didn't show it off this year. But if they're working on a new Perfect Dark game, they get a thumbs up from me.
I do wonder though if it's too late. It has been a long time.
It has been a long time.
The kids these days really are they going to go crazy over a Perfect Dark game?
Probably not. This kid at heart would go crazy for a new Perfect Dark game.
Yeah, how much is that IP worth? How do you reboot it? What do you do with it?
Yeah, I don't know what that game would look like today. It's it was a pretty standard campaign, first-person shooter campaign with a multiplayer component around it. I don't know if that's what that ends up being.
Yeah.
But what about Banjo-Kazooie?
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I don't even like Banjo-Kazooie. I just know that makes a lot of people I love happy. So
we just got Yooka-Laylee last year from the team that made Banjo-Kazooie. That was a big success on Kickstarter, getting that game out there.
Well, it showed that there was like a hunger for it, right?
Yeah.
There was a hunger for
Banjo-Kazooie and his universe.
Yeah, and let's, for big 3D open world platform, not open world, but big open spaces, 3D spaces, Mario Odyssey did that pretty well last year too, right? So.
Yep. Never say never on that one.
Yeah, believe it when I say it.
I would be perfectly happy to get both Perfect Dark and Banjo-Kazooie back, Microsoft, just FYI. All right, it's break time. Get up, stretch your legs, maybe grab a snack, and then sit your butt down again because we're taking a look at Fortnite's time at E3 in just a bit.
Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers, and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks.
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2018. This is the biggest gaming event of the year, and we're here all week with an insane amount of show for you. Right now, we're going to take a look at Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden, and I'm joined by the game's executive producer, Ulf, who's here. Oh, I'm not. That's wrong. I'm here with Mark and Harold. Guys, thank you so much for coming by. Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden is a lot of words, and I think a lot of people see this and they're like, this is a brand new thing. This is based on a 30-year-old RPG.
That's correct. It's based upon a RPG pen and paper book that was released in the mid-80s. And it's seen a bit of a revival because it's been reprinted in English and it's been sent around different countries and around the world. So yeah, it's become quite a popular thing, and we were lucky enough to get the rights to make the video game based upon.
Yeah, actually, it's amazing that this IP was able to survive 30 years without getting turned into a video game. But when we knocked on the IP owner's door, they not only made it happen, then they invested in the game and stick with us through thick and thin.
That's wonderful. I mean, the cool thing about having an RPG that's been around for 30 years is you've had people playing it and effectively kind of like doing a dry run and sort of play testing it before you even build the game. And you've turned it into a really interesting game where it's real-time exploration and recon and then like turn-based tactical combat.
That's true. We kind of wanted to get the game sort of to bring the best out of that world, and having it as a purebred turn-based game just didn't cut it. So we kind of implemented the different elements of the game, bringing people from IO like Mark and Lee Barley that have loads of years and making Hitman, bringing the stealth element into the game, which sort of bridges from free exploration into turn-based, just made the whole thing click.
Well, I mean, the gameplay of something like, XCOM Enemy Unknown is really addictive, and I know a lot of people are really into that. But that level of the stealth and exploration is a really nice added touch.
Yeah.
How is the world structured exactly? Is it like sort of separate environments, or is it one big?
There's separate environments connected together, so it forms a world. But they're they're definitely in sections and separated by loading periods, right? So, but you can approach anything you want in any kind of way you would like to choose. So you can go in for a stealthy approach. You can go in for all guns blazing. Everything can be handled uniquely by the player.
Our way was sort of to take the craftsmanship of game development, and instead of sort of focus on getting the game to be crafted. So we have every plan level carefully crafted. So we think that the replayability of the game is in the gameplay and not in seeing new skins sort of popping up every time you to load the game.
Yeah.
Now, as for the sort of the setting itself, this is my first question is, why are there talking animals?
That's actually based upon an expansion for the pen and paper RPG, where they have anthropomorphic human or mutant animals, we would call them, and they're interesting characters. And that's actually one of the things we wanted to do, was have some very interesting and more unique characters to explore the world of Mutant Year Zero with.
So the setting itself, like what happens? Something goes horribly wrong, and it's a dystopia. Like, give me a little context here.
It's kind of a post-human era. A lot of bad things have happened in a relatively short period of time, and we're sort of recouping after that. The boundary between men and animals have disappeared, and we have humans and animals, and then we have something in between called the mutants.
I'm really into that. There's something like I love this sort of the tactical sort of guns versus aliens approach of XCOM, but then to have like something that's still very like it's very gritty and there's a lot of kind of dark stuff going on, but then you've got a duck named Ducks.
Yeah.
How much character creation is there and customization?
You don't create bespoke characters, but there are a lot of mutations and things that you can swap around for the characters. So as you play through the game, you'll unlock, of course you can buy weapons and add-ons for your weapons and that kind of stuff, but you also unlock mutations, which you can, there's a mutation tree, which you can actually pick and choose mutations, so your characters will evolve depending on your play style and what kind of enemies you encounter in the world.
Okay. Could you give me like a few examples of sort of the mutations and their tactical advantages?
Okay. Well, we've got such mutations as stone skin, where you can turn your skin into stone, and you can take a lot of damage from enemies, or you can absorb it.
Rock leap is one where you can actually leap from one part of the level to another and sort of get tactical advantages. You have moth wings where you can sort of fly up for high cover advantages. There are loads of different mutations that sort of bring the game into a different level. As you sort of play through the game, you get start working with armor and weapons upgrades, and then once you see that that's not really cutting the edge, you need to get something else, and then the mutations sort of get you rolling, and that's
nice. That's how many characters are there throughout the game?
Well, there's a number of characters you can recruit. I won't go into the details of how many you can recruit, but you can recruit more. I mean, we've shown 3 characters in our trailer. That's Sporman, Dux, and Selma. And there's more characters you can recruit on top of that. But yeah, I'd like to keep the lid on that.
Do they kind of interact with each other relationship-wise? Like, how much of sort of a social component is there to the story?
Well, the game is kind of, it's a very story-driven game. So the interaction between the 2 main characters, which is the duck and the bull, is like the essence of the game, but the additional characters can lead the game and drive the story.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note, what's going on in the story? We know that it's a sort of post-human world, but...
Yeah, it's set sometime after the end of the human race. The world's seen a few disasters. I mean, the game will explain this. I don't want to spoil the game. Of course, that's not a good idea at this stage. No one's been playing it.
I don't want to know the ending, but, you know.
Well, there's been... Humanity has been wiped out by a number of different disasters. Nuclear war, and also a plague that swept... Before that, a plague swept the world, which took out about 75% of the population. And, yeah, then the world is kind of a destroyed Earth. It is post-apocalyptic, but a little bit different because we've got the mutants now involved in this, not zombies and the usual stuff.
In short, it's kind of... the mutants come from a trip. The guy that runs the Ark, which is sort of the last remaining sort of stronghold of the humankind, is gone missing, and you've been picked to go and find him.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Now, are there any like civilizations, or are there like towns or sort of non-combat areas?
Well, the mutants they have a place, their stronghold. It's like a village really. That's called the Ark, and that's where they're safe because they live in an area. Well, a part of the world is called the Zone, which is what the mutants refer to as the world outside of their natural sort of safe place, which is the Ark. And the Ark is actually like a converted bridge. It's like a bridge they've built like a little bit like a sort of barter town kind of feel going on with there, right? And they're safe in this, and that's their village. That's where their elder lives, and that's where they go back after a day's stalking, where they go around into the Zone collecting resources for the Ark.
Okay, so is that that's your hub world type of thing? Or
yes,
okay.
it's kind of the hub. You can go in there and you can buy items, and you can hear rumors and get missions, this kind of stuff.
All right, and how in terms of the sort of the story, the missions, and how that unfolds, is it fairly linear, or does it let you kind of pick and choose how you go about it?
There is a story that runs through the game, and you can follow that. There are some side missions and side areas to go and explore that are related somewhat to the main story, but there is a story from A to B to follow. So, yeah.
Now, I know one thing that, and I apologize for repeatedly comparing this to XCOM. I swear that's not a bad thing. One thing people always talk about is sort of the tragedy of losing a character that you really get attached to. Do you have a system like that here?
Yeah, we will support like an Iron Man style system, so you can get really attached to a character, and then once they're gone, they're going to be gone. Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't like that at all. I don't want to.
No, but I think if you are getting attached to your XCOM characters, you're definitely gonna be really attached to ours. That's for sure.
They're
but
like lovable animals too.
Yeah. They have their own personalities and quirks, and as you play through the game, you'll probably find a favourite in between the group, and then you'll feel even more heartbroken when you lose them, I guess.
Are there different classes for characters, or are they kind of just character-based?
Well, the characters themselves, they are just sort of, they're what they're called stalkers in the universe. And they're not stalkers in like a social media sense where they just follow people around. They go out and they're hunter-gatherers. They go out and get food and resources for the art. The characters themselves, they have differences between them here and there, but for the most part, they're pre-generated. The enemies, however, there's a lot of different types of enemy, and the enemies have different classes, and they're quite clear, and that's actually quite a big part of the game, where you'll need to sort of tailor your mutations and weapons when you encounter certain enemies, because you need to be able to match them at their own game, so to speak.
And how much of that reconfiguration can be done sort of on the fly?
On the fly, you can, once you've unlocked the mutations, you can swap them anytime outside of combat. And same with weapons and weapon attachments, and also party members. So if you have, at the moment when you're playing the game, you have 3 party members. In this demo, we've only got 2 unlocked at the moment. You have a maximum of 3 active, but you can have more than that. And as long as you're not in combat, you can swap those out at any time. So you can, we call it the golf bag approach. So you can just go there, recon an area, and then you can say, okay, this is, I'm going to require these kind of things, and then you set up your characters accordingly.
And of course, the recon is a whole sort of component in and of itself, because that's a...
Yeah, I think the way we sort of laid out the map is that you have the exploration where you sort of gather the resources and get the feel for the world. And then once you come into contact with enemies, you get the sneak element where you sort of set up your parameters and strategy. And then once you get into combat and you get into a turn base, that's kind of when you roll your dice. And either you go through or you need to rethink your approach. And I think that's the way we wanted to take this IP as a role-playing game, and rather than doing it as a turn-based sort of strategy game or a sort of any other kind of game. We kind of wanted to sort of take this and sort of give this format as an RPG kind of an experience.
It adds a wonderful wrinkle. And this is out 2019 at some point?
It's 2018.
2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2018. The game is out when we feel it's ready.
Okay.
But right now, that's this year.
And you're looking at PC and consoles?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wonderful. If you need to take a break, now is the time, but make it quick because we'll be back in 60 seconds with James Duggan and a look at the state of Battle Royale.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With the floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers, and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks. Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2018, your source for all gameplay action and breaking news coming out of the show. Download the IGN app to stay on top of everything E3 and hit us up on Twitter with the hashtag E3 2018 to be a part of the conversation. Tomorrow, we've got huge press conferences from Ubisoft and PlayStation, so be sure to tune in. But first, how many times in the last year have you heard the term Battle Royale? My guess is a lot. And for good reason, Battle Royale has quickly become one of the most popular genres in all of gaming. So let's take a look at exactly how that happened and why.
The Battle Royale craze. It's simple. 100 players fight for survival, but only one can win. But where did it come from? That is a little bit more complicated. It started with a book that was adapted into a movie. And then another book got turned into another series of movies.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Then came the video games, like Minecraft Hunger Games servers and H1Z1 King of the Kill. When Brendan Green entered the fray with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, aka PUBG, it completely changed the gaming landscape. The Battle Royale game mode was the shot of adrenaline Epic Games needed to bring Fortnite into the spotlight. Frankensteining key elements from PUBG with Fortnite's signature building mechanics turned Fortnite Battle Royale into a global phenomenon. Whether it's the signature dance moves or the celebrity-laden squads forming on Twitter, Fortnite is seeping into every nook and cranny of pop culture. And thanks to superstar streamers, it's become a global pandemic. See what I did there? Pandemic? Okay, fine, that's PUBG, but work with me a little. The success of PUBG and Fortnite has captured the attention of other game developers. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 is the first major franchise to add a Battle Royale mode of its own.
Battery kill.
But if history is any indication, it's definitely not the last. There's a valid worry the success of Battle Royale gaming is pressuring developers to adopt half-baked versions of the game mode into their own titles that will eventually flood the market. But like the game mode itself, there's a lot of competitors, but only the best will survive to the end.
To help me break down Battle Royale and why it is blown up, we've got IGN's Sydney Goodman and Rory Powers. And the very first thing I want to talk about is Battlefield Royale. We're going to go backwards in time and start with the most recent announcement, which actually surprised me. I thought if they were going to announce this anywhere, it was going to be at the initial reveal. But now we are into speculation about what could possibly be in Battlefield Royale. Here are the three things that we know. It's going to be uniquely Battlefield. Yep. It's going to have destruction, team play, and vehicles. Rory, what are you expecting?
I'm really excited about it. I'm a little worried because one of my main tactics in the Battle Royale series is hiding like a coward. So with destructible walls and objects, I'm a little worried about how that's going to affect me personally. But I'm a big fan of that game series and the type of mechanics that they use on these big open battlefields. So I think it's going to make a great Royale game, personally.
Sydney, thoughts?
Well, we were kind of talking about how in Battlefield it's such an emphasis on squads and squad mates. So I'm curious if there'll be a solo mode.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's really interesting you mentioned that because I think like a core pillar going all the way back to Battlefield 1942 of the Battlefield series is classes. We saw Realm Royale come out recently, and they have classes in the game, which is kind of shaken up the convention of going in on an exact equal playing field.
Yeah.
So do you think we'll see interesting and unique pickups? It's going to be a little bit conventional in terms of the weaponry, but maybe we can see like you can pick up the class of a medic and be able to distribute med packs. Sydney, do you think something like that would shake up the space?
I would, I hadn't really thought about that, but I really like that. I think that the exciting part about Battle Royale being adopted it's pretty common right now.
Yeah.
Is that developers are going to make it their own. And I want to see them innovate, and I want to see things that we haven't seen before. So I think having something like that, I'd be really excited about it.
Rory, what is the wackiest thing you can think that we could add to a Battlefield Royale? For me, it's Battlefield 1's Behemoths. Just getting 10 players in there, maybe 2 teams, and tearing through this insane map.
That would be incredible.
What would you like to see in this?
I think, this is a chance for the Battle Royale genre to have its first aircraft really introduced, because we don't really have that in PUBG, and we don't really have that in Fortnite yet. And I think that would be such a huge change to the mechanics, especially if it's, I'm a 10-minute walk away from the storm that's closing in, but I can hop on this runway and take a plane right over there and try and nosedive into an enemy team.
That sounds really exciting. All right, as much as I'd love to gush about Battlefield and what the Royale mode will hold for us, we got to move on to Call of Duty Blackout, which was also very recently announced. I think very surprising to a lot of folks. I know exactly what I want to see, and that's the crazy, wacky stuff that you see in Call of Duty. The RCXD, the Riot Shield, the zombies guns like ray guns and the lightning bow.
Oh, yeah.
Sydney, what do you want to see in this mode?
I mean, I'm really excited about this. So I am incompetent with a mouse and keyboard, and I play all my Battle Royale games, most of my games actually on console. And so I can't wait to play a Call of Duty version of this where the shooting mechanics are something I can do. Like, I am a pretty good Call of Duty player. I'm excited to, get into confrontations and have it be less about like who's jumping more and be more of like a competitive, intense experience.
That's a really interesting take, because if you lack the aim skill on PC, it is a very unforgiving environment, even in something as like jovial as Fortnite. Rory, what do you want from Call of Duty Blackout?
When it comes to Call of Duty, I am a zombies man. I am obsessed with the zombies in COD. So for me, what I want, I don't think I'm going to get it, unfortunately, because life is cruel. But what I want is, I want COD Zombies Battle Royale. So imagine you and 100 people trying to survive in the zombie hordes.
Bringing it all the way back to DayZ Battle Royale, where it all started, right? That's very interesting. All right, let's talk about another game. This is all the rage. This is dominated the Battle Royale space. And for those wondering, I previewed it. I got the first preview, and man, I messed up. I didn't think it was going to do that well. And I'm talking about Fortnite. This was a game that has just absolutely destroyed. We see Ninja playing it with Drake. We see all these huge streamers. And something very interesting got uploaded to the Nintendo eShop. Rory, do you want to tell us what that was?
Yeah, there was a leaked image. Well, leaked. It hasn't been confirmed yet, so we're not sure. But essentially, it was an image saying that Fortnite is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch, which is insanely exciting because it's running on about just all of the platforms so far, and it's running very well on mobile, so it makes perfect sense. This is the one place it can go and hasn't gone yet.
Sydney, what would that mean to you if it came to Switch?
I don't know that it'd mean much of anything, to be honest with you.
Can we get someone else actually on the panel, please?
I mean, I think it's something where a lot of people are upset about it. Like, I've seen a lot of like Twitter that's like, not my Switch, like, God. And I'm like,
more
hey,
games. I
who
can't
do you
stand
follow
it.
on Twitter? These are
the most popular game of 2018? No.
But so
not
it's
my
something
fault.
where I feel like I don't see myself playing it on Switch just because, I mean, I'm usually traveling actually when I use my Switch, so I wouldn't be on the internet. But I think it's exciting. I mean, if you like Fortnite, I'm excited that you get to play it on Switch. And I do like Fortnite. I just don't think I'd play it on Switch.
So I think everybody has a favorite part of Fortnite. Mine was Thanos. I thought that was the coolest mashup that has ever been done.
That was your favorite part, really?
Yes, I'm not a huge Fortnite guy.
I
totally respect it.
Like
I loved that. I just loved that it was like so quick. I mean, I think I snapped when I did that. You can't see it, but I did snap. Thanos.
And 3 people left the production room.
No one's here anymore. No, but I feel like just that mishmash of pop culture and that it was like, whoa, like Infinity War is so cool. And then it's like, holy, Exciting! I didn't. I stopped myself.
Exciting.
It was something where it's like, whoa, now it's in this game that everybody loves. Like, I thought I really appreciated that Epic did that. I loved it.
I think that's one of the cool things that Fortnite has going for it. It's one of the only games I've played in a very long time where every other week when you log in, there's a new mode there that feels like a completely different game. They keep it so fresh.
It's so dynamic.
They've added shopping carts, jetpacks, which they actually took out, the legendary burst rifle, obviously Thanos. They update this game so much. And it's on every platform. It's on your phone. So let's move on. Let's talk about PUBG, which was the reigning king until Fortnite has kind of dethroned it. We got a big announcement there from the Xbox showcase, and that was that Erangel, Miramar, the jungle map and the winter map will be making its way in winter of 2018, along with war mode, which is really exciting.
So my question, though, is, so we know it said winter 2018. Does that mean we're getting the completed Xbox version? Like, should we have the expectation that it is working at that point in time?
Yes, absolutely. I think when you start adding and tacking on PC post-launch content onto the Xbox version, I think that there's a
You should hope it runs, yeah.
Right, there's a huge expectation there, which I think might be a place where PUBG is kind of dropping the ball compared to Fortnite. Rory, what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've talked to a bunch of my friends that play PUBG on the Xbox, and they've just adapted to deal with the glitches. They're like, yeah, sometimes we drop into a city and you can go through the walls before they spawn into the map and get the items quicker.
Which is like still a thing.
That's so weird. That's not something that should still be a problem like this late into the game. So I think, yeah, getting new release content and at the same time making the game safe and structured, that would be great.
That is really exciting. But what is more exciting is when I get to think about what video game I would create were I a game developer. But I'm going to throw it to you, Sydney. If you could pick any game to have a Battle Royale mode that hasn't had one announced yet, what would it be and why?
It would be Wolfenstein because the weapons are insane. I want everybody to drop down on 100 Panzerhunds, which are like these giant robot Nazi dogs, and you just control them and you breathe fire at people, and that's the Battle Royale that everybody doesn't know they want.
Well, now
but I'm telling you, you want it.
Are we talking about 100 Nazis dropping in?
No, they're just the Nazi weaponry.
Okay, because that's also a good idea to just get rid of Nazis. Is you put them
really
on an
cool
island.
vehicles. What about you, Rory?
Look, I have a bit of an unconventional idea.
Please, try.
I'm a loose cannon. Try and stop me. All right. Animal Crossing Battle Royale. All right. Look, we already know that Fortnite is going to come to the Nintendo Switch. So have a pivot here. Take those mechanics. You get 100 villagers. They're all dropped into the one town, fighting to be the mayor. Now you can use your zero bells, zero equipment. You know, you got to build from the ground up. You can use your slingshot to take people out. You can shake trees, and get beehives to come down and sting people. The possibilities are endless here, people. And that's patent, by the way. I've already filed the patent, so
we didn't. If you'll notice, we had no footage of that because nobody expected that you would say that.
That's right.
So thanks very much for that. Maybe you can expect mine. This is Halo Infinite. This is something that we just saw.
Okay.
And this is, I've been saying for a long time, I want Battle Royale in the Halo space. I think a lot of people are going to grimace out there, but Battle Royale to me is about picking up these really interesting weapons that offer these emergent and unique gameplay opportunities. Yeah. There's no better arsenal than the Halo arsenal with the plasma pistol, vehicles like the Ghost and the Banshee and the Warthog, and all these very evocative, really cool weapons. I think that would be a fantastic space. The final thing I want to cover, not to end on a bad note, but Battle Royale kind of has this weird negative connotation. Sydney, talk us through it, why you think that is, and if you think it has any validity to it.
You know, I have noticed, as I was saying with the whole Switch thing, is people roll their eyes. They're like, oh, another Battle Royale. Well, guess what? They're still here, and it's exciting. And I'm excited to see what developers innovate in that space. I mean, it's similar to when every game was getting a capture the flag. And, you know, now people have kind of forgot about that. But capture the flag is like a mainstay in a lot of games. And it's exciting. I think it's great. And I think that it's a positive place for developers to be like, here's this cool thing that we're going to build.
I totally agree. All right. That is it. We've got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with the latest game from Dantnod.
The IGN app is the best way to stay up to the minute on what you love. No matter what you play, create the custom feed and filter what you want to watch. Live streams have never been easier to find. With a floating video player on iOS, you can keep watching the live stream as you read other news. World premiere trailers, and the biggest games. Download the IGN app from the iOS or Android stores now. Sign up for notifications and we'll alert you the second news breaks. Not only is IGN the world's biggest media brand for games and entertainment, but we also have a team of some of the world's biggest fans of your favorite franchises. From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, let's plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered. IGN, the #1 source for all games and entertainment fans worldwide.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're bringing the memes, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Before you find IGN's awesome content anywhere else online, you'll find it right at home on IGN.com. With IGN First, you'll get a sneak peek at never-before-seen gameplay, exclusive insights from developers, and a whole lot more. NVC Live brings you IGN's Nintendo podcast up close and personal. Engage with other viewers, ask our NVC hosts your burning questions, and become a part of the show. Don't miss out. Find everything first on IGN.com.
This is IGN Live at E3 2018, bringing you the biggest and best from E3. And we've got lots more surprises coming up. But first, to help us check out Captain Spirit, let's welcome Dontnod's Michelle. So what is this game exactly? The trailer just showed up today in the Microsoft conference. People have a lot of questions about it. What is it?
Yeah, I can imagine. We're so excited to be able to present Captain Spirit at this E3. For the past 2 years, we've been working hard on Life is Strange 2 for Square Enix. And while we were working on Life is Strange 2, we developed a lot of characters and stories. And at a point, we've already wanted to give away to the players this shorter story about Chris, about Captain Spirit. So Captain Spirit is a free standalone game that takes place within the Life is Strange universe. It's really the first entry point for the player into what Life is Strange 2 will be. In Captain Spirit, you will find a lot of hints and secrets and clues to the characters, the story of Life is Strange 2.
Yeah.
But it's really a complete game by itself, so it's a full experience of around 2 hours or even more, because there is a lot of replay value, a lot of secrets that the player can find and explore, and you might need to replay the game a few times to experience everything.
So I did see a little bit of it yesterday, and I think it's really sweet and it's really endearing. But can I ask, how would you describe Chris as a character?
Chris is a 10-year-old boy who is quite lonely, and like a lot of kids with a vivid imagination, to escape also the reality of his day-to-day life, he likes to pretend he's a superhero, Captain Spirit.
This part's really cute. He's basically talking to a version of himself that he thinks is outside.
Yeah, it's actually, when you play the game, you can discover a lot of different places. You can explore the house, the garden, the treehouse, and by exploring this, you can discover a lot of what kind of imagination Chris is putting into his toys. And so right now he's talking to small toy that inside the treehouse that is for him one of his allies, watching over the neighborhood.
We're talking about someone called Snowmancer.
Yeah, because when you play the game...
Snowman, I think.
Yeah, it's a snowman. And for him, it's one of the villain in the band of enemies that is imagining is fighting.
So it's basically, from my understanding, a story that is both about a kid set in the Life is Strange universe, still set in Oregon, who is dealing with some family things, but it's also about him kind of receding into his imagination seemingly and pretending to be a superhero.
Yeah, so basically the structure of the game is like you decide how you want to spend your Saturday morning as Chris. It's Saturday, you can do whatever you want.
This is the first.
And you can, of course, your dad, which you're seeing right now.
Yeah, you see like a little bit of kind of almost conflict between them that gives you an idea of what Chris's situation is.
Yeah, the family has issues that you will discover while playing the game. And so during this Saturday morning, Charles will be watching a basketball game and is not taking a lot of attention to Chris. So the player can really decide however he wants to play this morning. Do we just go outside and play with these toys and try to fight those imaginary monsters? Or do we stay inside and try to help a bit of his dad with, for example, helping with the house? And the way you play this, different ways you can play this morning, you will unlock different relationship with your dad. There is a lot of moments you can spend with your dad that you won't spend with him if you play and if you try to explore more of the imaginary universe.
So is it basically like one small open world where you can only do a certain amount of things depending on the order?
I would say one small narrative sandbox.
Interesting.
And it's you can explore all the inside of the house, all the garden, the treehouse, and there was a lot of secrets in some of the imaginary worlds of Chris that players can have a glimpse of those in the trailer. I think you have a shot at some moment in some sort of alien planet. That's one place you can go if you find the right clues and the right elements to go there. And so while you're playing as Chris and using your imagination, using your superpower on some elements, you will of course discover a lot of narrative elements of what happened to the family, why there is no mother with Chris and with his dad, why Charlie is drinking. You can really find much more clues about that, and it's a blend of playing this bittersweet kid's life and discovering some harsher reality about the world and the adult world.
So for previous Life is Strange fans, what can they look forward to in this experience?
So definitely, like we said in the beginning, this game is the entry point for Life is Strange 2 because it takes place in the same setting, the same timeline, the same universe, and by playing the game, the player will discover secrets about Life is Strange 2. So you can have. There will be some theories, I guess, but I already saw theories on Twitter. But the player will definitely be able to find out a lot of things about what will be Life is Strange 2. And for the player of Life is Strange 1, there are also some nods to the game, so players can also find links to the first game. But it's really a full story, so that's why we're so happy that we can give it away for free to the players. Because it's a full game, so even if you didn't play Life is Strange 1, even if you don't care about Life is Strange 2, you can really enjoy this game by itself and have a great moment with Chris, with Charles, and all the imagination of Chris.
So why did you decide to release it as a free game?
I would say why not?
It seems difficult.
I mean, we are really happy that Square Enix allowed us to do that because for us as creators, I'm working on the game with Raoul Barbet, the director you saw. And it's always great to have our game be able to reach as many players as possible. And what's better to reach many players than to be free, I think. I think also that it's a really good way for players who might sometimes be reluctant to play this kind of narrative game to maybe at least say, it's free, I could try it.
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe I like it. So I hope that a lot of players will try it and that maybe non-fans of the genre will try to play this game and maybe they like what they play in it.
So you're sort of hoping it can be a kind of entry point to similar style of adventure games for a lot of people.
Yeah, and also hopefully, of course, that players who love Captain Spirit will want to play and discover Life is Strange 2, which we will talk about in a couple of months.
I'm sure everyone's excited about that.
Stay tuned.
So I did want to ask, this is running on a new engine.
Yeah.
What are some of the updates to the tech?
So yeah, it's Life is Strange 1 was on Unreal Engine 3, so now we are on Unreal 4. This allowed us to develop a lot of new tech, like we completely reworked the facial animation system, so we put a lot of time to work on that, so I think it shows. We did also work on a better animation system in itself, like with physics. Right now you don't have your armor, but as Chris, one of the tasks you can do in the game is to create your superhero armor. And for example, there's a lot of movement
now or something.
I think maybe
that might be a little bit later in the demo.
And so we have better movements on the characters, like physics, the cape, some much more moving parts. We also use most of the new and Unreal Engine 4 tech with the lighting, with the physically based rendering. So yeah, it's a good step in the right direction to try to evolve the style while still keeping the art direction, the hand painting style. We really wanted the game to look like directly like Life is Strange.
Yeah. And one thing that I wanted to ask about that is also an update is you can now, instead of being locked into a dialogue interaction, you can now walk around. You can basically interact with multiple things at once.
Yeah, that's so we still have those moments of stage dialogue, like in Life is Strange 1, but there is a lot of moments in the game where you can walk around, still interact with objects, but also answer someone who just talked to you. For example, when you're in your room, your dad is calling you to get to the breakfast, and you can still be inside, still move, but you can say, I'm coming, or not right now, or also decide to not answer. And we use that several times in the game, and this allows us for a much better flow and naturalism for the dialogue. So you can still be within the game and interact and talk to other people.
Was that something that you wanted to do in Life is Strange 1, but you just were too limited?
Sorry, Pop.
No, I think that's mostly at the end of Life is Strange 1, where you had a lot of sequence in Life is Strange where Max and Chloe were talking while you were working, but you didn't choose the answer, and we were a bit frustrating. Like in those kind of moments, it would have been cool also for the player to decide what Max is saying and why she's moving. So that's why we did that for this game.
Yeah, I think this moment's so cute. I really like that his dad kind of allows him to have this like superhero identity.
And that's, for example, the kind of interaction with